And hello, welcome to the fourth game of World Chess Championship match between Ding Liren and Gukeshdi. Today, with me, amazing Grandmaster Felix Blohberger. How are you, Felix?
I'm good. Thank you, Laura. It's always a pleasure to be on the stream with you, and I'm
same.
excited for the game today.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited! And actually, while we were fixing against some beautiful technical issues that I like to create, there were some moves played already, and I have to say, Knight f3 first move, okay, very understandable, very solid move, basically having many options for the play in the future. Do you want to go c4, d4, g3, with b3? I understand that, but what I don't understand, well, is the second move e3 immediately.
Yeah, that's quite
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, that's been more of a recent development. I mean, white players are just trying to get a game basically, and are just trying to play it slow, and then with e3, then b3, as Ding also already played. Yeah.
Okay.
On the
Yeah. I have to turn on the rec button. I forgot about that, so we can both
Yeah.
see the analysis. Yeah, and what happened is knight f6, b3. Would you say that's kind of reversed Queen's Indian?
Yeah,
Something like this?
you could say so. I would say, yeah, you could say so. Especially if Black goes c5, yeah, then we really have the reversed Queen's Indian. But yeah, as far as I know, Black's like main option here is to go for something like a reversed London with Bishop f5.
Oh.
This is quite a solid reply. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would be very curious what Ding has in mind here.
Yeah, okay, that's a very interesting point. I did play exactly the same opening once on European Championship. What was the story behind it? Basically, I played a very strong Georgian player, Leila Yavakvashvili, and Georgian chess players are known for their amazing theoretical knowledge and lines, and as I was playing white pieces, I did not want to fall in one of her
Hmm.
preparations. And back then, okay, I was using some stockfish before the game, and stockfish really actually liked the second move e3. It was, of course, not in his top two, three moves, but it was in top 4 or 5 suggestions. Of course, on my laptop, the stockfish was not amazing, but still, like, I was surprised, and I wanted to try it, especially because a lot of players that don't know how to play bishop f5, they do go into c5 usually, and then something like bishop b5 happens, if I'm right, um, or something similar. Then of course knight c6 is possible, bishop d7 is
Hmm.
possible, but yeah, bishop f5 is, I guess, what you analyzed later than I played this opening. That was back in, wait, I have to think, probably 2021 or something like that.
Oh, some time ago already, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sometime ago.
bishop b5, of course, is one option. Also, bishop b2 looks very logical, yeah. Just to keep all the options
Okay, yeah, fair point.
after c5.
And after bishop f5, we can expect bishop b2, right?
Yeah, probably, yeah. I mean, here, usually e6 is very logical after bishop e2. And the only thing black, I would say, has to watch out for is that he doesn't maybe lose the bishop on f5. Like after bishop e2, for example, h6 would be quite instructive. So that after knight h4, black has bishop h7 and doesn't lose the bishop pair. But yeah, if this comes, I mean, as far as I know, this is like very, very solid for black. So yeah, gonna be interesting to see what Ding has in mind. I think that's also the reason why people start with c4 on this move in most cases, because now the bishop cannot go out immediately. And after c4, e6 is the main move. Otherwise, c6 would be like a Slav defense. And after e6, then b3 is like the main thing, when now the bishop on c8 cannot get out. But we have 2 moves already, and bishop f5 was actually played, and Ding went bishop e2 right away.
Okay. Okay, without bishop b2. Okay.
Yeah. So I would say now e6 again. His idea is probably knight h4. And then he will at least gain the bishop pair and might have some chances to play for an edge. And Gukesh played h6 just for that reason.
Okay. Okay, yeah, already immediately. Yeah. So he knows his things. Oh.
And yeah, bishop a3. I was about to mention that idea. I think Magnus also played it in a similar position. That's quite interesting.
Okay, now we're really getting into some interesting territory. Bishop a3. Okay, it's a very typical move for Queen's Indian to go instead of b2, or in that case b7 to a6.
Yeah, it is, but probably mostly if a pawn is already on c5, right, to attack it.
Yeah.
Let's just maybe put it on the board. If we have the Queen's Indian, then after b6, g3. I think this is what you mean, right? Bishop a6 here.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically one of the main lines.
Exactly, yeah.
If not the main one. So yeah, okay. I mean, in this case, it does make sense, but in our game, bishop a3 without attacking any pawn is a very interesting. However, I mean, black does want to go e6 in the next move, so this is kind of stopping him from developing his bishop and castling, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, still probably he should go for something like e6 and then just slowly castle his king artificially somehow. Because g6 is the other option, but with the bishop on f5, usually he doesn't really want to play g6, because then the bishop on f5 is somehow a bit exposed and can sometimes even be a bit in danger of getting trapped.
Yeah, okay. That is fair. Okay, but if we go to the live position, I'm just trying to open also the chat on YouTube, so we have all the chat here. Yeah, by the way, we have a novelty on our stream today. We have a live board below us, Felix. So whenever we analyze, there's a live board below us. Of course, it's not perfect yet, still needs some fixing to do. Like I said, I love technical issues. However, at least you have it there.
Yeah, that's great. That's a
So
great
you guys can
great
also
news.
see the time, who is thinking, who is spending time, and also the evil bar, who is better. If you want me, I can remove that, but as your guys' preference is, so far I just have it there. And yeah, and okay, and we're gonna be analyzing on our own as much as we can
Yeah,
without the engine. But sometimes we might have a little peak, Felix. Yeah,
yeah,
we
yeah,
deserve that. I think we deserve some peaks there.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, somebody in the chat says that I will figure everything out till the next championship. That's correct. That's correct. In like 2 years. Yeah. Okay, so I guess Gukesh is now thinking, would you consider, now that bishop is on a3, move like g6 or even g5?
Yeah, I was also thinking briefly about g5, but I would probably not touch the g pawn in this position, personally, because as I said, after g6, the bishop cannot retreat to h7 anymore, which it would very much like in some positions.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, g5 of course is also one option, but it is a bit weakening the king side as well. Of course, the whole concept could be good for black as well if he starts attacking, but
Okay.
I see it more of a weakening than a potential asset.
Yeah, I agree. Just maybe an idea that jumped into my mind now that basically I can basically not play e6. So I like some attacking ideas. Yeah, especially with bishop on a3 currently not doing much, but I guess bishop will come back to b2 and haunt us on the diagonal.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's
Even after g6, white would probably go back to b2 at some point, and just argue that this g6 setup is not as good here.
I do agree. And somebody mentioned that actually the only move in the Masters database that's been played here is knight b d7.
Yeah, that's logical. I also thought about that, just with the idea that after e6, black can recapture with the knight. So that does look very logical.
Okay, yeah, let's show it. For example, this castles e6, takes, yeah? And then where does this knight go? g6 or just back? Or what do you think?
Yeah, I probably back to d7, because with the knight on g6, again, the bishop on f5 might get into some trouble because it cannot retreat to h7 anymore.
Exactly.
So yeah, might just go back to d7. But it doesn't really matter, probably this loss of time, because the position is anyway closed. So this does look pretty okay for black.
Okay, yeah, and somebody in the chat also mentioned that I apparently played this system last year.
You played it with bishop
white.
a3.
I don't remember it. I played. I remember the game against of course, son of Richard Part. I'm sorry for pronouncing it wrong. And the thing is, I was absolutely winning in that game, like completely winning, like GG's, dark lights out, he can basically resign, and I miscalculated a tactic. So I played a tactic, and suddenly I was not winning anymore because I sacrificed the piece, and it didn't work. So that game in my mind, I just remember that game not by opening, not by how it ended. I just remember like vividly how I lost my piece in a completely winning position. But probably maybe I did play it, maybe in slightly different move order. But yeah, this, like I said, this kind of opening gives you so much flexibility to decide exactly what you want, especially in the live position. Wait, is the live position after bishop a3? Yeah, after bishop a3.
Yeah.
I mean, this bishop can always go back to b2, or you can always decide to go something like d3, c4. You can just leave it like this for now. You can go c4 in the future, just kind of saying, okay, I'm gonna now annoy you in the center. And yeah, so many options. I would think so, right, Felix?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Just in general, I think that White's plan is more, as you said, to go for d3, just for the audience to explain. Because if White would go d4, then the bishop on f5, is quite happy about that. If White goes d3, then the bishop on f5 is again a bit like, yeah,
Yeah.
his range is a bit decreased. Yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't do much, yeah, there
yeah,
on
yeah.
f5. Yeah, that's why bishop f5 is actually a very interesting move. I mean, okay, of course it's a developing move, it's a logical move, but yeah, this bishop will not do much, at least not yet. And yeah, okay. Okay, by the way, I want to ask you, oh, knight bd7 is on
It
the
was
board.
played, yeah.
I would guess so. Gukash knows his things. Do you think he's seen this position before, or is he playing from his head already?
I think he's more playing from his head, as you said. He for sure knew this idea with bishop a3. Probably h6 was also still like somewhat of an automatic move. Maybe he even prepared it just to avoid knight h4. But yeah, I mean, you cannot prepare everything in a world championship match, and I think this is also one position which Black can figure out on the board. Maybe he'll be a bit worse if he messes up something, but even then the game will go on. So I think we're really bound to see like an interesting fight. Yeah, it's a very unusual position. So.
Yeah. And this is going to be interesting fight. Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you actually. What are we predicting today?
Oh, it's so early to say that. It's really hard. I think it's gonna be more of a longer game, maybe. I mean, yeah. Judging from Ding's opening choice, he seems to be going for somewhat of an unusual struggle and wants to actually play for something. So yeah, that would be my assumption. What about you?
I like, now that you mentioned it, I've completely forgot that Ding did lose the last game. Let me put up the results. Results don't work right now, so I will put them later. But yeah, I there was a free day yesterday, and I completely forgot the outcome of the third game. It was so dynamic. The commentary with Levon was amazing, and the game was just so interesting that I just forgot that actually Ding was the one that lost. So right now the score is 1.5 for Ding and 1.5 for Gukash.
Yep.
And like you said, Ding needs to gain some confidence after a loss, or basically we're just seeing if he's able to figure it out today. If he can just, come to the board, forget about the past 3 games, and actually no, just think about the first game he played, maybe.
Yeah.
Just think about the first game and just play some beautiful chess. Do you think he's gonna be able to do that?
It all comes down to the mindset, to the correct mindset. If he manages to like look back at his form from round on and to implement that form, then I think it's quite likely that he plays a great game. But if he somehow thinks too much about his last loss and is a bit scared that this might happen again, then I think it will not go as smoothly.
Yeah, I agree. What do I predict? This is a very tough question. Like, of course, with this opening choice, I predict a fight. That's clearly what Ding wants. If he wanted something else, he would go for a different opening, maybe c4 the first move or something like that. And I don't know what I will predict a draw, just because I think Ding would be happy with it, and Gukash would be happy with it with black pieces, but it's gonna be a fight anyway. Because the third game, Felix, we were so confused by move rook h5, if you remember.
Yeah.
Because especially you noticed this beautiful move bishop e7 that was clearly the best move in the position, and I don't know if you were watching the press conference after the game. You were.
I was.
And Theo asked on behalf of Lichess, basically said that that there was this beautiful suggestion also by you, bishop e7, and what was the reason that he didn't pick it, or what was the reasoning behind rook h5. And if I remember correctly, of course he blundered exactly what we were saying, knight e2 in this line.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
However, after bishop e7 he saw some ghosts or some bad calculation there. What do you think? Was it ghosts or bad calculation?
Yeah, it's hard to say. A ghost is probably a good way to put it. Maybe he was also misevaluating the position, because I think he also said in the press conference that he thought it wasn't as easy. We sitting comfortably at home in the commentary room, we're just saying that Black has a comfortable position, but from a practical point of view, for him it was harder to handle, and therefore he was trying to force matters with rook h5. Just to get out of this position with his bishop on c2, but in the end, yeah, he missed this idea with knight e2, which he also admitted in the press conference.
Yeah, and I really like that he shared that insight, especially after losing a game on time.
Yeah.
That he even came to a press conference. I think that shows some good psychological strength, better than maybe in the past championship. So I'm very optimistic about today's game.
Yeah. I really hope to see Ding come back after the last loss.
Yes. Okay. Let's try to figure it out. Oh, actually, I think Ding already castled. If we see from the live board,
he castled
down there. Okay, makes sense, right?
And yeah, absolutely. And I think we're gonna see e6. It's hard to imagine another move being played.
Like you suggested.
Yeah, I think e6 was played. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Great. You're playing like Gukesh. We'll see if that's good or bad at the end of the game. No, but of course. So takes happened already. And what's the plan now, Felix? What are we doing with our position, with white?
I think c4 is quite logical. C4 followed by knight c3, and c4. I mean, I guess Black would go back with the knight to d7. That does look logical. Knight c3, and short castle. And now it's time to decide for White how he wants to develop. As I said, I think d4 is less of an idea here, because now after c6, Black is very solid, and the bishop is now all of a sudden doing quite a lot on this diagonal. So I think White will just wait with the d pawn, maybe even go d3. But one other idea I would like quite a lot here is maybe b4. That looks interesting to me.
Wait, let me just go back. So c4, knight d7, knight c3 castle, and b4 immediately.
Yeah, maybe that's an idea, just to gain space on the queen side.
Okay, I do like this, and actually c4 is on the board. So Ding did play c4, and he he just spent 6 minutes for all 8 moves. So far so good for Ding and his time trouble. While Gukesh is already spending his 20th minute right now. So after move c4, and this, what you say, makes sense. b4, however, very ambitious, very fast. But instead of d4, you think this is maybe trickier plan or better plan even?
Yeah, at least trickier for sure. Yeah, d4 is for sure also not a bad objective move. It just seems like then Black's play will become very easy. Just going c6, maybe a5, queen e7, connect the rooks.
Yeah.
Knight e4 at some point.
Especially now, this bishop on f5 would make so much sense. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
This bishop is now amazing, and White will probably have to exchange it for his own bishop, and now we're just gonna have kind of an equal game after that. So I do like b4. Knight 8 d7 has been played by Gukesh, and now we'll see what Ding and his seconds have prepared. Yeah, I guess we think he's still in his preparation, right, Felix?
I would assume so, yeah, because all of Black's moves were so logical. But he is spending some time, it seems. So unless he got some coffee or something, would be a bit surprising for me, for him to spend time here.
Yeah. I agree. Too bad we cannot have the cameras to see their expressions live, but as we know from experience, their expressions are not very expressive. So
Yeah.
what we would be interested in watching would be if they're walking around, if they're in their room, what are they snacking exactly? And if they're actually drinking coffee, tea, or even something else to boost their mind. Do you think they have some special nutrition there?
I think Ding was snacking on some walnuts in round one,
That's
if I'm not
healthy.
mistaken. Yeah, yeah. Maybe that was his secret for winning in the first round.
Maybe he's going back to walnuts. I don't know if I was wrong, but maybe it looked like from far away that it's popcorn. He was winning, yeah, and he went to break room and just snacking a bag of something, and
Okay.
people were making fun that he's just eating popcorn while watching Guga suffer.
Yeah, that would be funny. Yeah.
That would be a savage,
Yeah.
I think. Very good strategy, but I also like that usually us chess players, we bring some food with us to the game, and when we're not actually thinking about the move, our future moves, we can actually stand up, walk around, eat some chocolate that we brought. But here I think they actually have to go to break room to eat and drink some things. They should not bring it to the board, so it's a bit different. Maybe except water.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense. I think also now in the tournaments for people like us, not world championship matches, it's like highly discouraged to eat at the board or like
Yeah,
just
not
to go out.
respectful.
Yeah, out of respect. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I am just going to now in this position. I have to say I picked a bit because I'm very interested in this position, and I, besides the great moves that you suggested, knight c3 castle before, can we also consider something like taking on d5 immediately and
Yeah.
going b4 immediately?
So.
So let's try it, yeah? And going like something like b4.
Yeah, for sure. That's also an idea. Huh? Yeah, I was also thinking about that before. Also, you could maybe throw in knight d4 first, but probably doesn't really matter. Not sure.
Okay.
But maybe black. I don't know if black wants to take on b1 after knight d4. It's hard to believe.
Okay. Okay, instead of b4, you're saying knight d4.
Yeah, just first to throw it in, but probably doesn't really matter. But
I don't know. I don't want to take on b1, or do I?
probably not. But the other question is if you actually do want knight d4.
Yeah, that's true. Do I really want that knight there?
Knight looks very pretty there, but
Yeah. I'm just gonna pick at Lila 0 right now. I'm just curious what she's thinking. And Lila is actually thinking by 84% c takes d4 is the best move.
c takes d5, you mean?
Sorry, c takes d5. Yeah, I'm sorry for mixing up the notation, but yeah, c takes d5 is the best move, and second best move is d4, or
Okay.
which is interesting because we thought that that's slightly boring. And knight c3 and queen c1 is also very interesting, but nothing as good as c takes d5.
And what are the probabilities after cd5?
After cd5, white chances... Wow, that's actually interesting. White chances of winning are 16.2%, and black chances of winning are 20.1%, while drawing chances are 63.7%.
So Lila is saying that black is already a bit better, or?
Yeah, actually, that's a very good... No, I don't think that's what she's saying. Or... Because I don't have exactly the valuation, just the percentage, but that would kind of mean that... Yeah, that she prefers the black's way of play. If it has higher percentage of winning than white. But I think it's still very equal. I think Lila would still say 0-0, I guess.
Okay. We need Matthew again on the stream to explain us all the ins and outs of...
Yes, I want it. I need these explanations. I mean, when he suggested that page, I was like, this looks very complicated, and then I opened it, and this is just very simple. Like it just shows you the percentage, shows you the
Hmm.
best move, probability of being played, or probability of being best move. Um, yeah, but however, I do have to say Ding is thinking, and Ding apparently by doing some research in the chat is at the board, so he
Okay.
is
Okay.
thinking. Maybe he's deciding which plan to take because, of course, c takes d5 is good move, but then also something like you said, knight c3 b4 is a very amazing plan. And also, instead of taking on d5 or going knight c3, queen c1. What do you think about queen c1? What do we think about that move?
Yeah, that's also a nice idea, just to bring the queen to b2, I guess, because the queen on b2 controls this long diagonal. So I think it's perfectly placed there, and it will also support b4 later on. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, I think that white should sooner or later go for some b4 stuff, because it will be hard to play in the center, and yeah, b4 is the only like constructive plan with the pawns I can see here.
Okay, and in my Lichess database, I see there's only been one game played after knight bd7. No,
Hmm.
I haven't checked in the mega database or something, but it was game between Wesley So and Anish Giri
Hmm.
in 2021, and if I'm correct, the black pieces player with black pieces actually won the game.
Yeah, Geary won that game.
Yes, so after knight c3, the game. Oh, actually, this was a transposition, knight c3, because now we have three games. One even from Stewart Conquest from 1998, so that's a game very, very long ago.
Yeah.
However, if we follow the game between So and Giri, after Castles, if I'm correct. Oh, sorry, I'm just gonna insert that game. Yeah, after Castles, d4 and a5 I think has been played, if I'm correctly, by Giri. Yeah.
Oh, Wesley played d4.
Yeah, he played d4.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And yeah, now this a5, a3, queen e7, queen c1, c6, and now we have, like you said, this slightly boring game, but with beautiful bishop on f5, and black actually won.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're expecting d4 today, anyhow, by Ding.
Yeah, it would be very surprising.
Yeah, it would be. I'm just curious what he's thinking about right now.
I mean, maybe he's just trying to figure out the move orders. I'm quite sure he has seen this position, but I mean, maybe he's trying to figure out if he should start with cd5 or with knight c3, if it even makes a difference. That could be one thing.
Yeah, can we figure out why? What's the difference? For example, okay, in that case, I take and go before. Let's say that I want to be very direct and very concrete immediately. And why do you think I cannot go just b4 immediately? Will black just take on c4? Or no? What do you think? What's the problem?
Yeah, d takes c4 is always a thing. It does give up one central pawn for a non-central pawn. So in the long run, then if white will be able to consolidate, he can build a nice center. But maybe black can then immediately strike on the queen side with some ideas like c5. That could be something, but
Okay, yeah. Actually, you are correct. I checked Lila, what she thinks about before, and after castling and going something like this, c5 is coming. Of course, maybe a6 could be included, could not, but yeah, this is just now absolutely fine for black, right?
yeah, if c5 is coming, then it's fine for sure. Yeah. But otherwise, if white gets d4 and then something like queen e2, white will probably have a very nice position.
True. Yeah. So c5 is kind of the problem. Otherwise, yeah. Otherwise, we could be dominating the center, and also this bishop on c4 could potentially have some tricks. Going like I don't know. We could go queen b3, d5 if possible. Of course, we have to be careful about knight b6 and so on. But this looks beautiful scenario if it could happen.
Yeah.
But it will not. I don't think it will, and probably you also don't think it will happen like that.
Yeah. it will be hard to predict if there are so many setups for white here, so it's a totally stylistic choice.
Yeah, very much. You're right. Totally stylistic choice. That's the beauty of this knight f3, e3, b3 idea. Just now, I think, yeah, and now I find the best plan. Like, let's say he was preparing like 3 different plans in his free time, as just players do. And now he's just like at the board. Oh, which one am I in the mood for today? Do you ever do that?
Yeah, I do. I think I wouldn't do it in a world championship match, but
Fair point.
yeah, I mean, I think the team usually decides on one thing to play. Maybe they prepared many ideas for one game. That could be something. Yeah, and maybe he didn't check it for this game, and now he's trying to figure out which of those options he wants to try in this game. Yeah, you're totally right.
Yeah, that's one point. However, I just want to consider in case he's now out of preparation. Maybe that's a possibility that. And I want to know which move got him out of his preparation, because, of course, bishop f5. I'm gonna check what's been played the most in the Lichess database. Actually, bishop f5 has not been played the most. It's been bishop g4 here after move 3. So after b3, however, bishop f5 second best move. So I'm pretty sure he was still prepared after that. And h6, of course, he must have suspected, because knight h4 would be coming if that wouldn't be the case. And bishop a3 and knight bd7, the only move. I mean, basically the only move that's been played by strong chess players. So this is also the move that he should have analyzed, or his
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And after castle, of course, e6. Okay, maybe also e6 was his second move to be checked, because also c5 has been played here.
Yeah, c5 is also one idea which has to be considered, because if black manages to consolidate with e6, bishop e7, then all of a sudden the bishop on a3 doesn't do anything.
Okay, maybe this is what he was expecting, something like c5, but of course e6, like you said, very logical move. I mean, first or second here right now. And yeah, after taking c4, I think he played pretty fast. So yeah, he played it pretty fast. Yeah, maybe he was not he was not expecting knight d7. He was maybe expecting c6. Nah, right?
Yeah, that's possible, and maybe now he's trying to figure out the move orders, because these positions can transpose in many cases, and maybe he wants to figure out what is the best way to reply to knight d7. Because it would be very surprising if he just stopped after the position, if the team stopped after c4, yeah, because...
that would be funny. It's too early to stop for this level of preparation, yeah?
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
No, yeah, maybe that was the case. However, I do have to say, when these strong players, and of course yourself as a grandmaster, when you prepare to play a certain opening, in this case this is a rare opening, you do check games of strong grandmasters that played it, and you check how they played it to get kind of an idea what they were thinking, what were they analyzing, to get some ideas, correct?
Yeah, and also what is the most logical reaction by humans. I think that's the main point, at least for me.
Yes.
If you can see which move is played most often, then it's most likely also the most logical in certain positions. And yeah, that's one thing, of course, when it comes to preparation. Strong engines. I'm sure both of these teams will have some extreme machines at their disposal for this match. And another thing which I think is quite important at top level of preparation is the use of correspondence chess games.
Yes, correspondent chess games are very important because you get basically engine insights from different engines, at the same time. And yeah, do you follow correspondence games a lot, or just when you're analyzing some opening?
Just when I'm analyzing, like I'm not sitting at home, and when I'm bored, I'm not just looking at random correspondence games. It's more like a tool for when you're analyzing, because as you put it, the correspondence players basically do the work for you. They analyze positions super deeply on some incredible depth, so you don't have to sit here and wait for Stockfish to reach a certain amount of depth. You basically just check the correspondence database. So this is a very useful tool for me, at least. Do you use correspondence databases as well?
I try my best to use them. Like you said, it's so much easier. We don't have to use all these different engines and then compare the analysis of the engines. No, maybe we can, but we don't have time all the time to do that. So yes, like you said, this watching correspondent games is a relief on our time management also, basically, because they did all the work. They did all the
Yeah.
work. They wouldn't play a bad move, because when they play correspondent chess professionally, of course they leave these engines running for a long time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree. So I just wanted to say, yeah, maybe I don't have the correspondence database here, so I don't know if something else except Knight 87 has been played there. Maybe that's what threw Ding off. However, I wanted to just say that Geary did play this move, Knight 87, so I would expect from Ding and Ding's team to consider that move at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's hard to understand what is exactly going through Ding's mind currently.
Yeah, okay. Like you said, maybe he's just going through, and I think he's gonna play the move, but Knight C3 I think has been played. Your suggestion, Felix.
He played Knight
Very
C3.
nice. Yeah, Knight C3.
Okay.
But do you think it could just be some memorizing problem, some pressure?
Yeah, that could surely be, yeah. Or as I said, like trying to figure out the move orders, yeah, which has to do, of course, with memorization as well. I mean, I find it hard to believe that Ding's team just stopped after bishop takes f8, c4, and said, okay, it's a position and you can just play it. This, yeah, would be enough for a player like myself or for you, but
Yeah, I
for
would be
world
very
champions,
happy.
yeah, yeah.
No, yeah, this is, I mean, yeah, usually, like I say, I'm not a big theoretician because I do most of my openings during a chess tournament, because at home, usually I don't have a lot of time to work on chess. And when I'm most efficient during chess tournaments. So that means that all the analysis I actually do there needs to be fast and concrete, and I need to know the ideas immediately, because the game is the next day. And that's why my analysis are usually very short. So I would have stopped after something like c4. I would say, yeah, I just attack the center, and then I will figure it out.
Yeah,
Just figure
totally.
it
Yeah,
out.
like if you only have a couple of hours to prepare, then you cannot check everything to a maximum depth. So there, it only makes sense to check like the most concrete things, as you said. And if it's just a position you can play, then you just play it. So, but in a world championship match, they had I don't know how many months to prepare. So, and it's such a prestigious event. So usually they don't stop at these positions.
Yeah, no, they don't. Okay, so Knight C3 I think has been played. However, we don't see it on the live board yet. So somebody had a very interesting question. Instead of Knight C3 on the knight move, would move like D3 here be a good or a bad move? Felix, what do we think about this? D3, it's something that we want to do. However, I guess we prefer developing the pieces and just grabbing the space in the center, or on the queen side if we can first, right?
Yeah, D3 also makes a lot of sense. I actually prefer it over D4 probably still, because again, now the bishop on f5 is still biting on rock, you could say.
Yeah.
And I mean, the question is if white knight on b1 actually wants to go to d2 or to c3.
Yeah. So more options now.
Yeah, let's say black castles. The only thing after knight d2 is it might run into things like knight c5 when the pawn on d3 is attacked, and probably white has to go d4 now anyway to not lose the pawn.
Okay, yeah. So d3 would actually be a good move. I mean, we do prefer it over d4. However, a move like knight c3 is a developing move.
Yeah.
It's a move that's trying to control the center, and yeah, d3 very good suggestion though. Yeah, keep going with these suggestions. I like them, especially because that means that we can consider something else that we are not seeing maybe on the first site. And by the way, I think knight c3 castle
Is on the board. Yeah.
and just okay, we also have, before we go, we have insights in Lila 0, because you were asking me before what are the probabilities. Gukesh's better probability lies in that because he's higher rated, and Lila takes into consideration of ratings, and that's why I guess that's higher percentage.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. They're very smart engines. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, like I'm always fascinated by how well these engines are developed, and why do they just become better and better each time I see them. But it's amazing to follow games like that, and of course that's why Matthew Sadler, that was a guest and hopefully will be our guest very soon, works on them and with them and is trying to understand them, and that's amazing.
Yeah, Matthew does fascinating work also on his YouTube channel. I personally also read all of his books.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah, he's great when I mean in general, but when it comes to this, he's one of the leading, I would say, experts on neural networks and chess engines in general. So
Yes,
he really had some some great insights.
absolutely. Okay, but now we can finally go to the live position and we can guess which move will be played by Ding.
I really like your suggestion with CD5. I have to.
Really?
Have to say that CD5 followed by B4 looks like a nice plan.
Okay, yeah, I agree. That looks like a very cute plan. Before before you mentioned it, I would not consider this to be one of the main ideas in this position, just because it's very direct without even playing move like d3 or d4, or I don't know, for example, moving the queen to somewhere that's more active. But actually after b4 the queen will be going on b3 where it will be amazingly active. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and yeah, I think white cannot really strengthen his position any much more. So I think the cd5 b4 queen b3 is actually called for, because then also the rook from c1 possibly could go from f1 could go to c1 maybe. And yeah, later on d3 could be an idea to maybe put the rook from a1 to b1 as well.
Yes, okay, that's very nice. Yeah, that's very good. But can we just say something? If Ding decides to play d4 here, how disappointed will we be?
I would be very disappointed.
From 1 to 10. 10?
Let's say a 9. Let's say
8, 9. I agree. Yeah, 8, 9. Yeah, because of course it's of course not a bad move. The move is logical, makes a lot of sense. Wesley So played it. He's an amazing player. Yeah. However, this is not what we want in this game. We want more.
Yeah, it just doesn't like fully align with the position strategy, I would say, or the opening strategy. I would argue to play d4 here.
Yeah.
And also black's play will be much easier. He will just go c6, queen e7, and if cd5, ed5, b4 will come, black has to answer some questions.
I do agree. Answering the question, would the move like a5 here be a good move for black?
After b4 or?
After b4, yeah. And I think I think Dink took on d5.
Okay, that's great news.
That's very good. And now we hope b4. Now we're hoping for b4. I think he doesn't have much other ideas than b4. So, yay!
Yeah,
we
b4
saw
was
it.
played. Okay, that's good.
Okay, now we can think about this. I'm excited about this b4 idea. That's good prep.
Yeah.
I wanted to suggest a5 just because in case white plays something like b5, which is usually very logical, then c5 square can be taken by the knight. Just thinking out loud. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, that's true. b5, knight c5. Yeah. The only thing is if I can somehow remove this knight on c5. I mean, now black structure is a bit vulnerable, I would say, because whenever I can double my heavy pieces on the c file, you will have a lot of issues with the pawn on c7. And yeah, I guess that's the main thing.
Yeah, and that's why c6 has been played, just so this b5, like you said, it's just too many squares are taken on the queen side for white.
Yeah.
And c6 makes sense. Now the idea is a5, I guess, in the next moves. Maybe not immediately, but I guess this is something that black is trying to achieve.
Yeah, a5 is of course the most logical pawn break. I mean, worst case, white can always go a3 after a5.
Yeah.
But it does allow black to simplify quite a lot. So probably he wants to be able to do something else in a3, maybe queen b3, yeah, as we said before, because now after a5, I don't know, I want to go b5, yeah, that would be the dream, going for this minority attack.
Yeah. That would be interesting, yeah, but that's why I would think first move like a4, just so on a5 we're prepared for b5 in a better way, but because now a5, b5, knight c5 comes with a tempo.
Yeah, you mean in this position, yeah?
Yeah, this position.
a5, b5, knight c5. I thought I have queen a3 here.
Okay.
Attacking your knight and then taking on c6 on the next move.
Okay, and if I go something like knight e4, let's say knight c4.
Yeah, let's say I take here on c6.
Yeah, take back.
Take back, and something like rook to c1 maybe.
Yeah, and you're playing on my bad pawn structure.
Yeah, at some point knight d4 will also come, and now we can see the pawn on c6 is actually quite weak.
Yeah, especially knight d4 and also knight a4 taking control of the c5 completely. It looks very unpleasant, except if I can play c5 here. Maybe then I'm kind of okay.
c5, yeah.
Maybe, I'm not sure, but
I'm still a bit worried. Let's say d3 maybe. You have to take on c3, I guess.
I guess.
Rook c3 and...
And what now, yeah? This c5 is...
Yeah, maybe you can still play knight d7, but... Does look a bit shaky for black. Maybe I have this idea, bishop d1, bishop a4. That would be nice.
Okay. I see it. I mean, I guess if black, has some concrete ideas here, it's okay. But if not, in long term, this is just a bad pawn structure. Yeah, too many pawns hanging in the center, and we don't want that. We don't want pawns to hang in the center. They're most important pawns. Okay, good. So queen b3. That means that is a fair suggestion in the live position.
Yeah, so how does black want to counter b5? Do you want to go b5 c5, or like what is the optimal case for black to respond to b5?
Oh, that's true. So let's think about it. Let's say I go queen b3, a5, b5. How should we usually respond to that? Should we somehow take on b5? Should we go c5? But not here, it doesn't work, because d5 is hanging.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe not a5. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe we have to prepare something. Just don't know how. What are we preparing? How are we preparing? Do we go knight e4 immediately? Do we go knight b6 maybe? Just to prepare c5 after b5?
Yeah, I was also thinking about knight b6, but I didn't like a4 coming, and then also a5 is there.
Yeah, but after a4 I play a5 anyway.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And if I take on a5,
I don't know.
then...
Let's think about it. Takes.
Yeah,
Takes,
that's interesting.
takes.
Yeah.
I need.
I don't have rook b1 right away. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
important.
of course.
That's very
Yeah.
important. Otherwise, this pawn would be hanging.
But I do have queen b4 maybe.
Oh, would be funny if I had to go something like rook a7 here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that would be...
probably you have to, and maybe it's still not so bad for black.
Let's try it. Rook a7. You might go a5 now. This is passive though, but.
It does look a bit passive for black, yeah.
But yeah, what's funny is that after a5 I can go something like knight c4, because you cannot take this free pawn, I guess, because of bishop d3. Of course you have queen c5, but this is something that we have to calculate, yeah?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I don't know if this works. Have no idea. And there's no evil bar, so you guys don't see how bad I am at suggesting the moves. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
probably
blackboard
after
is
queen
missing.
c5, probably white is doing pretty well.
Oh,
If the rook on a7 is hanging.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure if black wants to go a5. Probably if things work out after a5, it's always good, but the b file always opens up, so that's the thing to watch out for. If black is not prepared for the b file opening up, it could backfire as well. And what can you see what Lila suggests after queen b3?
Oh yeah, let's do check that. Oh, by the way, queen b3 in position after c6. Lila loves that move. I mean, 95.8% loves that move. And after queen b3, she's actually suggesting a6 for black.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the live position so we can, yeah. By the way, very good suggestion, queen b3, yeah? Lila loves it.
Very logical, yeah. Yeah, a6, of course, is maybe the safest.
Yeah, okay. This a6, oh, but that looks, yeah, okay, let's go queen b3, a6, for example, yeah, and, okay, let's say I go a4.
Yeah, the a4 is logical. In general, a6 is, it stops b5, but it does weaken the dark squares quite a lot, so...
Yeah, especially somehow, of course, White said yes to go b5, but somehow he could also consider playing a5 sometimes, just to go knight a4 and controlling these two squares.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe in different positions. Yeah, okay.
a4, what do I do?
Do I go something like b5 with black? I don't want to, but I know sometimes these are the ideas.
Yeah, b5 is a common idea in the castpot structure when the pawn is on d4 already.
Yeah.
But here, maybe it's a bit of a worse version because the c4 square is not weak yet.
I was thinking exactly the same, because white can also just play d3 and the knight cannot go there.
Yeah. If there's a position like this, black is usually fine because the knight can come to c4. But with the pawn still being here, after knight b6, knight c4, there's always d3, as you highlighted.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't know, if I were playing this position after queen b3, would you go a6? I mean, because you know a4 is coming anyway, so I would not usually go a move like that, but I would go for something a bit different with more idea. What do you think?
Yeah, a6 is not the move that Black will probably love to make, but now this idea with the minority attack after b5 will probably be a bit less dangerous because Black at least can exchange the a pawns when the margin of draw is probably significantly bigger. And yeah, I was thinking after a4 maybe bishop g4, but because the bishop on f5 still doesn't really do a lot, so I was even thinking about exchanging it.
Okay, that does make sense. However, I did like bishop on f5, but it makes sense to exchange it, especially because also knight e4 could be an idea to be played.
Yeah, that's true. And Ding played knight d4, by the way.
Okay, we were discussing that. Is this the square for the knight that we want the knight to be on or not? I guess we'll see now. I guess black will see will play something like bishop h6 or bishop h7 now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Bishop h7 looks very logical. Yeah, yeah, knight d4. Yeah, bishop h7 was played, right?
no,
So-
sorry. I think
Mhm.
it was just me moving it. I don't think it was played actually. Yeah, not yet.
Not yet. Yeah. Yeah, the thing with knight d4 is now b5 never really works because black will have c5 with the tempo. So
Yeah, exactly. But so what do we want to do? Do we want to go something like knight b3? Was the plan to just reroute the knight on a square that is having more activity on queen side, or what are we doing with this knight here?
yeah, that's one idea. I have another one, which just let me know how you like it.
Oh yay! Yes, finally. And you know what I want also? G4.
Yeah, that was the idea. Huh? G4, h4, g5.
Also h4. Wow, you have no fear. You have no fear. I like it. This is amazing. Oh, but this is not okay. That's just my opinion. But is this Dink's style of play, or is this Rapport playing instead of him?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. Yeah, Ding hasn't been playing like that aggressively recently, I would say, over the last few years. But if you look at his games from some time back, he was actually always a fantastic attacking player. And I think if you would find back to that somehow, I think it's still basically one of his strengths. Yeah. Of course, if it will work out in this game is another thing. If he would actually go for it.
Oh my. Okay, we were so focused. I was so focused on playing b5 that I didn't even consider that we would be playing on the king side. I love it. I hope we see f4. Do you think that's why also Gukesh is thinking like what's the idea? Like I'm just gonna move my bishop. What you gonna do?
Yeah, but I don't see where it can go. I mean, I only see two options. Yeah, g6 or h7, right? I mean.
Yeah, I agree.
But bishop on g6, yeah, the bishop on h7 is just so much safer. Yeah. At least to me, it seems like this. Also, after bishop g6, it even can run into f4, f5 with the tempo sometimes. I only see downsides with the bishop being on g6, to be honest.
Yeah.
Would you consider bishop g6?
I would consider it if I didn't see that f4 was the idea. So if I saw f4 to be a plan, then of course bishop g6 doesn't make much sense. It just doesn't. Does any other bishop move make any sense? Like for example bishop e4, just in case I want to provoke something first, but I don't think it makes a difference. Worst case I just go f3 and f4 and it's the same position.
Yeah.
Bishop e6 as well doesn't make any sense now, especially after f4 the bishop is trapped.
Totally, yeah.
Doesn't work. Neither I think that I would like to have this pawn structure in the future. So I guess Gukesh is just trying to plan ahead. So I'm gonna go bishop h7. His next move will most likely be either f4 or a4. Just, I don't know, thinking, or queen b3 even, but okay, on f4 I need to have a response. Yeah.
Bishop h7 was played, yeah.
Makes sense.
And now it's like a key, a key position in the game, I would say, because white can decide for two different games basically now. One is f4, which can become very double-edged, and the other one is just to proceed playing positionally with something like a4 or queen b3.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, what
And he did play queen b3, yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, I just wanted to tell you that actually Lila, after knight d4, she does suggest bishop g6.
Okay, she is not scared of f4, huh?
I don't think Lila is scared of f4.
Okay.
Yeah, but I do like that plan. Just I guess in the future, trying to prepare it. I want to know evaluation after f4. After bishop g6 f4, I will just open the evaluation bar and it's 0-0. And you know what's the best move for black after f4?
What is it?
Bishop h7.
Okay. Yeah.
It doesn't make much sense. But if I go bishop h7, like it's been played, f4, let's see. f4, yeah, this is now slightly, just slightly worse for white, nothing grave.
With knight e8 being the best move, at least for me.
Yeah, knight e8 being the best move, yeah. And just, of course...
Knight comes to d6, yeah, and...
Yeah, perfect square for the knight.
Probably this attack with g4 is not going anywhere.
No, not yet. Not yet, I guess. At least, yeah.
Okay.
So that does make sense. So, wait, bishop h7 has been played, and yeah, queen b3. Queen b3 makes sense. This is what we wanted to do before. But now the knight is on d4, and I don't think we like it that as much, Felix.
Yeah. I still like white's position. I would say I think it's still easier to play. But yeah, as we concluded, the knight being on d4 is actually not that great, because after b5 there will always come c5, attacking the knight on d4. But
I agree. So I guess now the plan is slightly slowing down, especially I don't know how it's in your team, but in my team the coach usually says do not play moves that when you're like basically given an answer to your opponent. When you play a move and your opponent basically will play this move immediately, and then you have to think again. So these moves are kind of useless almost. Of course not in this case. Knight d4 is of course a good move because it also has an idea of f4 and in the future. But basically I'm asking myself, is it the move that needed to be played right now? Especially if queen b3 is going to, that you were going to play queen b3. Why did you have to include knight d4 immediately, and why not later, if that was the idea?
I mean, the only explanation I can see is if white goes queen b3 right away, to avoid bishop g4. This would be one explanation.
Okay, makes sense. I guess he didn't want to exchange this bishop, yeah.
Yeah, that could be one thing, even though I'm not sure if this is something to be scared of as white. But maybe he just wanted to not allow this option and keep more pieces on the board.
Okay.
By the way, I was just thinking about this position here, and I did see one plan for white. So I would be curious in general, what would be your human way to set up your pieces as black here?
So after knight d4, bishop h7, queen b3?
In the live position, yeah.
Okay, wait, let me just turn off the evaluation bar, and I didn't see any move from Stockfish, I swear. Okay, what would I do? Okay, most natural move for me here would be rook e8.
Yeah, rook e8, very logical, yeah.
Yeah.
And my idea was to get knight a4 to c5. Let's say I start with d3.
Okay. I guess queen e7 or something in that kind of line. I'm trying to figure out, okay, you're not threatening b5 because I have c5. Or even knight c5 in worst case. And I think I want my queen to be on e7. What do you think?
Yeah, queen e7, or knight e5 also does attack the pawn on d3. But anyway, my plan as white is to go knight a4 to c5. That was my idea. Then put the rook to c1 and then slowly starting to push b5. That would be my idea. Maybe the rook on f1 actually to c1.
Yeah, that's why, if possible, yeah, I want to do something like queen e7 and then play knight e5, knight g4, knight e3.
Yeah, I think that's the right approach. Yeah, to look for some counterplay on the king side
Yeah,
for black.
Exactly. I'm not gonna play on the queen side with black. It doesn't make sense with this pawn on b4.
Okay, let's say do I want which rook do I take? Let's say I keep it safe. Rook c1. You said knight e5, and I go knight a4.
Okay, let's say I follow. Okay, d3 is everything's protected, of course, but let's say that I go knight eg4. Just I want to see how you're gonna respond to it. Probably
Logical.
not a good move, but it has an idea.
Yeah, it does have an idea. Queen b2 or queen c3? Let's say I go. You also do you have queen e5?
Yeah, my idea is of course to go either queen d6, queen e5 as well, in addition to knight e3 threat.
Okay, I want to trick you.
No.
But I think I tricked myself. Yeah, my idea was knight takes
Yeah.
e3 to move the bishop,
Yeah.
but you can take on f2. Yeah, with the same idea, king f2, queen e3, and then.
Oh,
Like
wait, yeah, I didn't see when you moved it. So knight f2, king f2, queen e3. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I want that.
Yeah, so maybe something like queen b2 just to protect the
Everything.
the knight on d4.
But now the question is, let's say queen e5. What you gonna do?
Knight f3, but I will go queen c3 actually. I think this might be more accurate. And if queen e5, knight f3.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Even though in queen h5. I know, maybe. Yeah, sorry.
You're trying to checkmate me, yeah?
Oh, no. That's not the goal of the game of chess at all.
H3.
H3, I guess I would go back. I mean, do I need to go back though? I guess so. I'm not gonna be risky. G5 is coming. No.
Yeah, I'm already scared. I have to admit. Okay, I'm coming. Knight c5. Come to play.
You're going to knight c5 immediately. Oh, come on, Felix. Give me something. Okay, yeah, no, this is not going to work. I have nothing anymore, so queen h5 was a bit too ambitious.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
Yeah, no, after queen c3, I would have to think. I would just have to think what to do. If I have even a good plan for black, like something like after queen d6, you would, I guess, go knight f3 anyway.
Probably, yeah.
And now I just...
Or do you have some tricks here, maybe?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I have something, but I don't know what.
Can you maybe try queen c7 in this position?
Okay, let's try it, yeah.
Knight f3 and now bishop e4. Does that work?
Oof.
Just an idea.
Wow. Okay, let's say I take. So I'll take on e4, you take with a pawn, and I go g3.
Yeah, I was worried you were gonna say that, and now I have to take back, and probably white is a bit better, because b5 is in the air. The bishop is very strong on f3.
Yeah. No, this is a very strong bishop, especially with the g3 now. It has very nice squares here. So yeah, I guess not. I guess we're just a bit too ambitious, but that's what we need to be. We need to try our best with black here. While white has this beautiful plan of knight a4, knight c5, we need to do something. Actually, I would like to check the evaluation after queen e7, rook c1, knight e5, knight a4, knight g4. I just want to see who's better. Okay, plus 0, 3. So it's still equal, but I guess more pleasant for white, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, it's kind of like black has to look for counterplay, because if he's just waiting around, white will slowly push on the queen side, and black could end up in a lot of trouble.
Yep, yeah, I agree. So maybe, by the way, somebody asked why did we play rook ac1 on move 15 in our analysis instead of rook fc1?
Yeah, that's a great question. My thinking was that if the rook is still on f1, the other one, it might defend the king in some cases, and I was already worried that Laura might start attacking me, so I...
Because now I have, when I go knight e5, knight g4, not only I have knight e3 idea, I also have knight f2 idea, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Slightly tougher to defend everything, but I guess Engine would agree that this is a good move. However, from human perspective, I would guess it's a bit more like not on a safe side.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
And somebody also had a very nice suggestion after, okay, so d3, queen e7, rook ac1, knight e5, knight a4, knight g4, and now did you play queen c3, if I'm correct?
Yeah, queen c3 was my suggestion.
Queen d6, knight f3, knight e4.
Ah, knight e4.
Yeah, this is very interesting. I don't know if it works for the same reason as we saw before, so g3. So takes g3. But if this works, then could I just move queen b2? What do you think, Felix, after knight e4?
Yeah, I mean, if we go for the same position like before with g3 now, black at least has the bishop. So here, I don't think white has anything. I mean, the position after g3 takes bishop takes knight e5 maybe. Looks like black is very active here.
Yeah.
So you were saying knight e4, queen b2, right?
I guess queen b2, yeah. I just wonder if black has an idea. Maybe knight g5.
Knight g5 is there, yeah.
Ooh.
Also, knight f2 could be already something to consider. Not sure if it's good.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to make you play, because I'm not afraid of this. But maybe I should.
You're not?
Be. No.
You're not?
Should I be afraid?
Can I do this on rook e3 maybe?
No, Felix, no. No, why? How?
No, I mean knight ef2, rook f2, and then rook e3 without taking on f2 first.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that's more. I was like,
Yeah,
what do you want to sacrifice? I'm gonna take it. Okay, rook e3. Okay, I guess you have a good plan, because if I play something like rook f1, you're gonna take rook f3, and
yes,
opla, checkmate is coming.
Exactly, yeah.
So I need to be careful. I need to be very careful, actually. I don't know. I would oh yeah, if I go something like even like queen d4 though.
Yeah, I was afraid you're gonna say that.
Yeah. No, I mean we still would have to calculate rook f3 though.
Yeah, rook f3, but you can maybe take on g4. Rook f3,
so? Okay.
queen g4, take here, and I don't think there are any double attacks.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. You're right. Okay. No, we were just considering this move. It needs to be considered. It does look scary, yeah. But also when you have knight g4, why not, yeah?
Yeah, and also knight f2 was maybe unnecessary. Knight g5 looked also pretty good
G5,
for black, yeah.
Yeah, knight g5. Okay. And also another question: could black consider swinging, for example, after queen b2, going rook e6, rook g6? So I already went knight e4. You went queen b2. Just let's say to prevent everything. Is rook e6, rook g6 an idea, or do you think it's a bit too slow here?
Just one question: do you have the rec button on? Because I think I cannot see your analysis.
I do, but it's bugging. it's bugging. So
Okay,
it's
okay.
so basically, actually, we can delete all the analysis from before, so we would be
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so we can
That's
be up to date. Just a second. So let's do that. There's so many analysis to delete.
yeah.
Oh my, what did we do, Felix? What did we do?
We went quite deep, yeah, in this. In this.
What did we do? Yeah, so so rook e8, d3, queen e7, rook
Mm-hmm.
a c1, rook fc1. I'm just deleting. This knight g4. So instead of queen b2, I'm just going queen c3, and here I'm considering queen d6 only. Not even queen c7, just queen d6, and knight e4.
Knight f3, knight e4, yeah.
Knight f3, knight e4. Yes, knight f3, knight e4. And here queen b2, I would guess. I guess, yeah, we're not taking. And of course here we saw a few suggestions like knight g5, then knight ef2. But rook e6, rook g6 is also an idea. We just have to take into consideration if we have enough time to play it.
Yeah, that's always an idea in this position as well, swinging the rook. I was just wondering why I actually went to b2 with the queen and not to d4. Isn't that just better? Because you don't have knight f2 there, you don't have knight g5 there. And I'm already threatening d takes e4.
That does make sense. That does make sense. This is a better move for sure. I just, yeah, basically I wanted to illustrate all the ideas that black has, but queen d4, yeah.
Yeah, rook e6, g6. One idea. The thing is that it always locks out the bishop on h7. So if black can get it, it would maybe be better to get rook e5, rook h5, or g5. Because then the bishop on h7 is still aiding the attack.
Yeah. Okay, I agree. But okay, this is very, very far ahead. Basically, we were just suggesting, after queen b3, we were just suggesting a move for black.
Yeah, rook e8 is very logical.
It looks very natural. I would just like to consider... okay, it doesn't work. Basically, what I want to do is get my knight from f6 to d6. I want my knight on d6. It's where in this kind of structure, the knight thrives the most, yeah? Usually. But
yeah.
of course, this is pawn on d2 and not on d4, so this is different.
Yeah, this small difference makes quite a big difference for the structure, I would say. Yeah, we don't see this Carlsbad structure with the pawn on d2 that often, but it does make quite a big difference because black never has this play on the c4 square. Yeah.
Yes, neither e4 is not great or f5, so knight on d6 in this position wouldn't make a lot of sense. Also, we don't have time to play it because b5 is also very direct.
Yeah, b5 you have to watch out for. So I liked rook e8 actually.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah, another idea which I already said briefly, let's say d3. I mean, maybe something like rook e5 could be considered.
Already? Oh, I like this.
Could be an idea.
Okay.
I'm not sure where I'm going, but
yeah. Looks.
Yeah, it's maybe a bit too early, but it's a motive to watch out for. That's all I'm saying.
No, it's a very good motive. I agree. I love rook leaves. I think everybody in chat loves rook leaves. I mean, they're suggesting it all the time. Yeah, just however, maybe in this position, I'm not sure what is going on, especially because rook g5 is not really a plan because then f4 is coming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I would want to move this knight. Maybe this is good, but first I would like to either move my queen to some diagonal first, or move this knight first, or even put my knight on e5. Okay, that's what we were suggesting before, but of course, yeah.
What would you say? Wouldn't it be nice to exchange the knight on d4 for our knight on d7?
I wouldn't mind it, especially because white has more basically positional advantage on the queen side, so exchanging the pieces for me would make sense. How about you?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, it does look very, very natural to exchange these two. So I thought maybe knight f8 here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Um, very good. Very good idea. I have no idea what to do with white now. I mean, I could go knight e4. Let's say I go knight a4.
Yeah, so knight e6 is one idea. The other one is knight g6 h4.
Mm. Which one do you want to take though? I mean, in either case, I think I will go knight c5. Or no.
Let's say I go knight e6.
Okay, knight e6. I will take it.
Yeah, now it's actually not so easy how to recapture, because black can make a good point for taking on e6 with the pawn as well. Let's just try this, because I will get e5 and maybe some good control of the center.
Okay. You know, Felix, what sucks not having Levon or Sadler here, that I actually have to be the one suggesting the lines now.
Oh, you're doing great.
Which is very tough, you know, especially I think we're both slightly tired. Don't know why, but I think we're doing our best.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, rook e8, of course. Sorry, let's go back. Knight e5 was played, but I want to consider that position. So knight a4, knight f8. No, sorry, what? No, d3. Now we were considering
knight f8,
yeah, knight a4. 96 takes. Yeah, and you're putting me on a tough spot, Felix. Tough spots here. I will go b5.
Yeah, interesting.
I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. I hate my bishop on e2 right now. However, I do like my queen side. I want my rook on c1. I like my knight on f4. It's doing perfectly, even though if it's on the edge. It's gonna come into the game. I trust it to come into the game later. Like, come on, knight, you got this. Yeah, but it's very interesting to suggest taking with the f pawn, but I like it. It's more stable for black.
Still, does look a bit easier to play for white, I would argue, because now black's attack is really not going anywhere, and white is actually starting to achieve something on the queen side. Maybe it's time for black to take on b5, but something like this, queen b5, and now protect the pawn somehow, maybe even b6, but
I guess b6 would make sense to also protect the c5 square from this knight to coming into the game. I do like this idea. Yeah, I will still go rook c1. I don't know which one. Probably rook a c1. Basically asking, okay, if I could take control of the c file, like I will go queen a6, maybe in the next move, or rook c2, rook c1. If I take control of this file, then I'm just clearly better. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, that's a fair statement. Then let's say I try and control the c file as well.
You can try. No, of course you can do it, especially with this knight on f4. I would. I wanted to play something like rook c6. However, I think you just take it, right? Or something. I don't know. Let's see. Rook c6. Do you take it and go queen c8, or what's your idea?
Yeah, but then you will get control of the c file probably.
Yeah, but I only will have one rook, so.
Yeah, it probably doesn't matter.
In that case, maybe it's not that bad, but I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure.
Okay, I can take on c6, go queen c8. Yeah, still probably not much happening here after something like this.
Yeah.
Maybe rook e7.
Yeah.
Gukesh played knight e5,
yeah.
Which
let's go to that move. So instead of rook e8, which we thought was a great move, knight e5. Knight e5 does make sense, like especially maybe with queen d6 coming later, knight g4, and we didn't have to move the queen from e7 to d6, and I don't know, right? Not a bad move.
Yeah, knight e5 is also very, very natural.
Yeah, especially also now we're not allowing white to play d3 because it's hanging pawn.
Hmm.
What do you think white should play here after knight e5?
Maybe some rook move. Maybe rook.
Rook move.
Rook
c1?
AC1 maybe
Yeah.
again, yeah.
It looks like a logical move. There's nothing wrong with moves like that.
I would again be a bit scared to move the rook from f1 away from the king, so...
Yeah. However, maybe engine suggests move f to move rook from f to c1. Let me check. Lila. Even though I think Lila is so busy right now that it's glitching slightly. Actually, I'm gonna tell you something. In the position before knight e5 happened, Lila actually suggests move knight e4. So rook e8, of course, the second best, but knight e4, the best. Which is very interesting. We didn't consider that, but we like it. However, knight e5, yeah, not bad.
But knight e4, one important question. The idea after knight takes e4 is d takes e4, yeah? Not bishop takes e4.
Oh, I think so. That would make sense. Let me just use the engine that we have here. I would just like to know what Stockfish also says. Yeah, d takes e4, yeah.
Yeah, that's not an easy decision for a human, I would say. Because the bishop on h7 is now really
bad.
out of the game. Knight on d4 is still fantastic.
Yeah. However, this pawn is just a bad pawn, and you want to play for your whole game, especially with these kind of ideas, this kind of ideas.
Knight e5, queen g5. Black does have counterplay, but
yeah,
I would say.
But this bishop is so bad, yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy to make that decision.
Yeah, but Lila can, you know.
Yeah, sure. Lila will go some h5, h4, and say everything is alright. Yeah.
GG's by Lila, yeah. I agree. Yeah. So just wanted to mention that, but of course, knight e5, not a bad move. It makes sense. Only fifth suggestion by Lila. Just saying. Only
but still around equal, I guess.
Of course, yeah, still around equal. I mean, here it's very hard to go wrong, especially when you know all your strategical ideas with white and with black. For me, it's easy to go wrong in this position because I can easily mix up some strategical ideas. But for Gukesh, I'm not worried. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, which a very fair question in the chat, is the idea f4, f5 in this position? Sorry, an idea to shut down the bishop.
Totally, yeah, totally an idea. It does give a lot of squares to black as well. So white needs to outweigh the pros and cons there very, very carefully.
Yeah, yeah.
But it is an idea, yeah?
It is an idea. I like it, actually. I like the suggestion.
We can check it, yeah? f4, let's say, I don't know, where does the knight go? Back to d7, or?
I have no idea. Where does this knight go, actually, yeah?
Or to g6, but where is it going from there?
I'm trying to make knight c4 work, but it doesn't, yeah? Just too much. It's too much. It's just too much.
Knight c4 I can just take, right?
Yeah, I was hoping that I could have something little here, but I just don't. I was trying to play on activity of this bishop, but it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't have then many other moves than knight d7, yeah?
Yeah, knight g6 doesn't make a lot of sense either.
No, this looks...
So knight d7 and yeah, maybe f5, yeah, this can be considered.
It can. I mean, I can play it immediately, or I can also wait a bit if you want. I can just go g4.
g4 again.
Okay, maybe in this case something like knight e4 is a bit annoying. Or not. Huh.
Knight e4, I remember the computer before, after g4, liked this idea with knight e8, knight d6 now. Maybe it's good here too.
Yeah.
Because he's also stopping h4. That's another idea.
Yes, you're right. I want g4 to work, but you're right. Yeah, it's too much. g4 is too much. Let's not do g4. Let's not do g4. But no, f5. Let's try f5. Yeah, what chat suggested. I like it. How do we do with black now? Again, something like knight d4 could always be an idea. Or rook e8 now.
Yeah, rook e8. It's very logical.
Just always logical in this position, yeah. Or even queen e7, but no need. I mean, I'm gonna go back knight e5 at some point. Maybe
Probably the knight will go back to e5. Also, maybe some heavy piece could be on e5 to attack the pawn on f5.
You really like rook e5, yeah?
Yeah, but maybe it's very hard to.
It's good. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. Yeah, it's hard to evaluate this position. What do you think is the evaluation of this position after rook e8?
Probably 0-0. Yeah?
Okay, let's check it. 0-0. You were right.
It's actually yeah.
What a coincidence, right? Yeah, 0-0.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is it's equal position. However, look at the play on white's queen side and white's king side. It's just dynamic, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, white risks to overextend a little bit because he is playing on both sides somehow, and it can definitely go in the wrong direction as well.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I think, Felix, we've been talking for a long time, and we deserve our first break of the day. So after 95, we will let Ding think. I believe he will make an active decision here. However, I think it's very nice if we can go on a break. And we'll be back in a few minutes. Hello and welcome back to Game 4 of the World Chess Championship match between Ding Liren and Guk HD. With me, amazing Felix as usual. Felix, did we get our coffee?
Yes, we did, and we are back with full force.
With an extra member as well.
Yeah,
There's a cat
extra
here.
support. Yeah,
We need it. We need it,
Yeah.
chat. You're great support. However, like you said, cats, cats have their own value. But she doesn't
Yeah.
want to stay. Okay, the position needs to be interesting for her to stay.
we're not quite there yet for her. Yeah.
Yeah, however, we did miss some moves while we were gone, so...
Yeah. So we were still there after knight e5, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
and
yeah.
Ding played a4.
Exactly, a4, which, like we said, it's a move that makes sense. It's a very logical move, usually.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it does. I mean, now knight a4, knight c5 is not there anymore, but probably this is anyway a bit slow because black will get a lot of counterplay on the king side as we saw earlier.
Yeah. Exactly, and that's why rook c8 has been played. I guess we are preparing after, let's say, b5 happens, that either we can take it or we go c5, but probably c5, yeah?
Yeah, I think c5 will be quite strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, rook c8 is somewhat of a multi-purpose move, I would say.
Yeah, it is. It's a logical move. Like rook e8 is a logical move. I guess rook c8 is also a very logical move. We don't need that rook on a8. What now, though? Let's just mention they both have equal time right now. It's 1 hour and 3 minutes for both. It's move 14, so they still do need to make 26 moves in 1 hour, which is very normal. So they're basically controlling their time better today, Felix, yeah?
Yeah, better than yesterday for sure, at least on Ding's part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, still 1 hour is not. Ding has played a5 already. Yeah, time management is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it largely depends on how fast he will play in the next few moves.
Mm-hmm.
But
Absolutely. It's still, everything can still change. I mean, I don't know about you, Felix. I already spent 40 minutes on one move, so it's possible for me to spend as much. What was your record?
yeah, probably also something like that. But at least from my experience, if you spend more than like 15 or 20 minutes, nothing good comes out of it anymore.
No,
I
it's
think,
terrible.
Yeah, at that point we're just overthinking, and
Yeah,
it's just
not
time to
not
make
even
make a move.
overthinking, but you're already starting to see ghosts. You cannot decide which position is worse for you. Instead of thinking which position is better for you, you're just looking, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, and you have to decide between positions that you don't even like at the end.
Yeah.
Which is terrible. I do not recommend thinking 40 minutes. I always say I will never do it again, but
You're
happens.
not the only one. Yeah, this.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess a5 was a logical move. Would you that's a normal move, like we're taking more control on the queen side. We still have the b5 option in the future. However, what if black decides to play a6 now?
Yeah, that's the main question. Then white's counterplay on the queen side, at least with the pawns, will be stuck for now. Um,
I mean,
but
otherwise,
yeah,
sorry, if black doesn't go a6, we are going a6, correct? Let's say we go rook e8. I go a6. What you gonna do?
b6 probably, huh?
Okay, but now I want to consider f4.
f4, knight to, I don't know. Now I could maybe consider knight c4.
Now? Why?
Because
Because
if you take
c5.
everything, then I have c5 possibly.
C5 looks nasty, yeah. Okay, no, I just wanted to showcase, of course, knight c4 is a good move, but instead, in case knight d7 happens, I want to go b5, yeah? And now
Yeah.
c6 square is going to be slightly weak. I'm just suggesting some moves here, but for example, if this happens, Felix...
Yeah, if the knight comes to c6, it's bad news for black.
Very bad news. So that's why I was thinking that maybe a6 kind of needs to be played, right? Almost needs to be played.
Probably, yeah. a6 is...
From human perspective, of course. If we check Lila 0, I'm sure she will disagree.
Yeah, Lila 0, maybe again knight e4, yeah. Knight takes e4, d takes e4, but I highly doubt that this will be played. Yeah, a6 is
Wow,
is
not
logical.
even that. Not even knight e4. b6 she likes.
Oh, b6 is incredibly hard.
That is hard, yeah. Especially because you're giving up a file.
But maybe in fact this was Kukash's idea after rook c8 to play b6 c5.
Oh, okay. Let's consider it. So I go b6, and after taking, I'm taking with a pawn, yeah? Not with a queen. And you're saying that if white goes rook a7, I'm not worried with black?
Maybe I'm pushing c5 if I can.
Maybe you can. I guess I'm taking now on c5. You're taking with a pawn. Knight b5.
Yeah, now I can already start to consider some d4 ideas. Did Gukash play b6?
Yes.
He did play b6.
Wow. He's playing like Lila.
Yeah, b6 is a very strong idea. b6 followed by c5, just to break out of this bind, which white had over the position.
Yeah, oh wow, b6, he actually played it. Okay, so yeah, my human perspective was wrong this way. a6 for me looks natural on the first glance. Of course, by calculating, maybe I would have played a different move. Intuition and calculation are two different things, yeah? I mean, of course, with intuition, you decide which moves are the candidate moves, and then with calculation, you decide which one do you think is the best objectively. So, b6, yeah, with calculation, it just works. Yeah, you're right. This c5 break is amazing.
Yeah, not so easy for white how to counter that.
Okay, let's try to figure it out somehow. Can I don't know. I wanted to go f4 again with the idea b5, but maybe knight c4 is a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, again, now that seems like an issue.
Yeah, I guess this knight c4 and just takes c5 is too ugly.
Yeah.
Too ugly for me. What else?
I think white should include a takes b6.
Okay.
At least so the a file is open for the rook.
I agree. And now, if I could play b5, followed by knight c6, I would, but b5, c5 is too annoying, yeah?
Yeah.
Except if I have some tricks that I can still play knight c6, but I don't think so. Yeah, I just don't think so. Okay. And somehow this knight on d4 proves to be not a... I mean, it's a good knight, it's a very active knight, but not the knight that you want to have right now.
Yeah, once c5 comes, the knight on d4 will reconsider its previous choices.
Yeah, okay. So give me a suggestion in this position, and I will give you mine. Okay, I have to think. Be quiet, I have to think. No, okay. How are we... doing this?
I think we might see some simplifications actually. I mean, Rook FD1 would be one idea. It does look a bit strange to do that, but at least now there are no Knight C4 ideas anymore.
Yeah, there are no more ideas of knight c4. This might be important. This might be important. I would suggest maybe. I wanted to say something like move queen a4, so on c5 I can take on c5 and play knight b3. Just because after c5 I need to move my knight somewhere. Okay, no, you're right. I can still go to b5. I'm basically just panicking, and I shouldn't panic in this position.
Yeah, or to f3. That would have been my main thing.
Okay.
Also, that's what I meant with simplifications. After Rook d1, I could see something like this happen. CD, knight f3, and many pieces will be exchanged.
I agree. Yeah, and this looks like black is out of any trouble.
Yeah.
If he ever was in trouble, of course, I don't think so. But it looks like black is comfortable. Maybe that's a better word for it. How can I complicate black's life here? If I that's why I want to have some trick, you know, with like playing b5 and knight c6, or that's why f4 was my first move by instinct, just because I want to complicate things on the queen side, or something like rook a6. But it just, I mean, okay, let's just think about rook a6, c5, I take, and now I mean, it doesn't work, but like move like rook f6 looks very cute. If it worked, because of course queen f6 doesn't need to be played here. I think here black can just take the knight.
Yeah.
However, if queen f6 is played, I just wanted to like do something, you know. Knight on d5 is amazing. Probably it still doesn't work, but you know, I just want to include some dynamic in this position. Of course this doesn't work. I just wanted to show what would be ideal scenario for some crazy things for me.
You get extra points for creativity. That's for sure.
Yay, thank you. But that's just not the case in this position. I think you're right. I think we just need to slow down at this point. So you think rook fd1 will happen? What
Hard
else?
to say. It's also not a move white wants to make. Yeah, if rook d1 is played, white will already be like happy with the draw, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I don't know. Can I go some... Yeah, I wanted to go something like knight a4, but that's also a very sad move to make, especially knight e4 is very strong for black. Maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, like this, and then in worst case, knight comes here, and it's very good here now.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? I think at this point I need to resort to Lila 0 to give me some creativity, I guess. So takes f4 is actually the best move by Lila.
It is, yeah, and after knight c4, just to protect the pawn on d2 somehow, yeah.
Rook fd1, yeah.
Now rook fd1, okay.
Yeah, okay. Now we're getting somewhere with creativity. I like this. but yeah.
After rook d1, so it was f4, knight c4, rook d1. If I go c5 now.
Yeah, I think this is the main worry. But do we go knight f3? Do we go knight b5? Or do I take first? No, let's say I just go knight f3. I don't know. I just want to go knight f3 to see what's gonna happen. But yeah, okay. I mean, now that f4, knight c4 is included, this is complicated.
Yeah. This f4 move can also backfire for white in some cases. Of course, this is probably the way to play for a win. Or to at least keep some pieces on the board, but it might also be a little bit risky.
Yeah, yeah. It is risky, and also I just checked what Lila thinks about c5. It's the best move, of course, and after taking knight db5, she wants to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. So knight bd5, knight db5. I don't know. Would you take white or black's position here?
Here probably already black, because white's pieces are somehow all a bit awkward. And
That's true. That's true. No, you're right. But what's gonna black do in this position? Like my threat is to take the knight, and I will take the pawn. I'm gonna grab your pawns if you let me. Yeah.
Can I just move the knight from c4? Let's say I go back to b6.
Okay.
I could also maybe go to a5, but that's
a5. Okay, a5 looks pretty good. Like, and after queen a4, you would go knight c6, or
yeah. I would love to go to c6.
Okay, but now I would want to play something like bishop f3 if possible, and I want to play on kind of weak center. It's not that weak, but I want to make it weak.
Yeah, and the question is if I can manage to get this d4 push, if it works or not.
I mean, I wouldn't trust it. I mean, because I would consider taking after d4, bishop c6, rook c6, something like knight d4 would be interesting.
I mean, after bishop c6, I could also consider d takes c3, maybe.
I take it back. And you go queen e7, yeah?
Yeah, queen e7 and then queen e3.
Felix, you're right. Stop being right. No, okay, you should be right, yeah.
But also after rook c6, knight d4, I thought I can take ed. CD, sorry. CD in this position. Queen c6, take on c3, and...
Also this works probably.
The black's pieces look very, very active.
I mean, I was like counting on the fact that I do have two pawns and there's no queenside pawns anymore, but you're right, this is not something you want to achieve with white, but yeah, I just wanted to check it. Also, yeah, knight a5 is an interesting move, but also, yeah, knight b6 is probably not a bad move. What I wanted to say is, okay, I know you have the center, however, I wanted to play on the a file somehow, with rook a6, rook a7, I don't know. You say you would take black, but I don't know. I'm not sure if I would. Just because I like my files, you know?
Yeah. If the rook can manage to infiltrate and create threats, it can be dangerous for black. But I don't see yet what the rook can possibly attack. I mean, rook a6, rook d6, if you can manage to do that, but it's...
Yeah, I just, you know, the thing is I'm not afraid of your d4 break. I should probably be afraid of it, but I'm not. I'm not. I'm fearless because I'm not playing this game. If I was actually playing this game, yeah, this is clearly not such a clear position for me. It's very hard to evaluate for me personally.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, if this happens, at least we're gonna have a game.
Yeah, if f4 happens, it will be very double-edged.
But I don't think f4 is in Ding's style right now, currently.
I tend to agree, yeah.
So, but I would be happy. I would be extremely happy if f4 happens, because that means that he's taking risks. But if he doesn't take risks, he went knight f3.
Yeah.
Which is fine. This is a move that you suggested also in some positions before. Just simple exchange. Do I want to exchange it with white? I mean, did I want to do that? Not really. Because now black will probably take the knight, correct? Or not. Maybe not.
Maybe knight c4 is again an option, but...
Oh, I like it, yeah.
Black can also start to think about simplifying again with knight takes f3, bishop takes f3, and d4 maybe.
That's exactly what I was thinking with my first instinct, that if black finds this d5 plan to be successful, sorry, d5, d4 plan to be successful, I don't see anything wrong. There are no weaknesses on the queen side with any white squared pawns. I mean, this one on c6, but is protected. This bishop on f3 looks strong, but doesn't do much, yeah?
Yeah. And if things like this happen, many pieces could exchange, and a draw would be quite a likely outcome, I think.
Do we want to draw, Felix? Do we want it though?
Not really, but
yeah, it's not up to us, yeah?
Yeah.
If it was up to us, we would have seen f4 on the board, but I completely understand why f4 would not be played. It's just too risky. You're opening too much. You're making weaknesses, especially when knight c4 works for black. If knight c4 didn't work for black, of course you go for it.
Absolutely, yeah.
But yeah, this is... okay, let me see if there's anything new. With the time, what time do they have? Oh, Ding is now quite down. Let's go back to the live position, knight f3. Ding does have 48 minutes. Oh, sorry, just a second. Let me figure this out. No, Ding has 50 minutes after knight f3, and Gukesh has 57 minutes, which is fine. They both have equal time. They're both realizing they have to play faster. They have to make quicker decisions and maybe even safer decisions than usual. Yeah. Do you want me to check what Lila thinks?
Yeah, would be interesting. Yeah. My guess would be knight takes f3, but.
And you're right. I mean, anything else doesn't make much sense, except maybe even rook e8, because you always wanted to have that rook on e5. Now finally you can happen. You can have it there.
Yeah, rook e8 is also very logical. I was just wondering, does knight c4 make any sense here?
Oh, actually, yeah. Where is this knight c4? Knight c4. We just take a b6. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out. Knight c4, ab6, ab6, rook fc1. And I think Lila likes white position quite a lot.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And I think Gukesh took on f3.
He took on f3, yeah, and d4 is quite likely to be played as well, I think.
It's just so logical. So logical for this move to be played. I don't see anything else, because here, let's say that it's white to move in this position. Which move would you play with white? You would play probably d4 yourself, maybe, huh? Maybe
yeah, d4 would be one idea, or at least to stop d4 somehow. Maybe knight e2 would be one idea.
Yeah. Or even, okay, b5, I think, in this concrete position works very well. Just because c5 doesn't work, I'm taking the d5 pawn. And now finally this bishop on f3 is making a lot of sense, attacking the center. So you're right, d4 just makes a lot of sense. Also, bishop e4 looks interesting by Lila. Of course, d4 the best, but bishop e4 also a suggestion.
Yeah, I didn't even consider that one.
Yeah, because when you see d4 and you see that it works, I don't think you even consider anything else.
Maybe Gukesh does, yeah. Maybe.
But yeah, I mean, he's competing for world championship, so I guess he knows a little bit more than us.
But he did go for d4.
Yeah, makes sense. No, it just makes so much sense.
And knight e2 played immediately.
Very good timing by Dink. I like that he played it immediately. He spent some time calculating knight f3, but immediately after that just move by move played without time spent.
Yeah.
Very important. Yeah. I don't think we're worried for black to play d3, because then that pawn in the future is probably going to be lost.
Yeah, knight is coming maybe to d4 already, and c6 is weak. Yeah,
Yeah. Are we worried about c5 though?
probably c5 or d takes e3 are the moves to consider. Gukesh took on e3.
And we're gonna take with the deep one, of course.
Yeah, also happened in the game.
Yeah. It's already moved 19 and they have a lot of time. Okay. And now, in this position, would you pick white or black?
Probably still white.
Okay, yeah.
Because the pawns on the queen side can be a little bit weak.
Agreed.
But yeah, it shouldn't be anything at all. Also, black can maybe exchange this nice bishop on f3 by going bishop e4 in some cases. or just knight e4, yeah, also one idea.
Yeah. So what do we do with black to make it easier for us? Nothing much to do to make it easier, yeah, we just have to play logical moves now.
I mean, maybe knight e4, yeah, because I don't see how you can stop knight d2.
Oh, okay, I was thinking about bishop e4 actually, with similar idea, except I just want to exchange the bishops. But
Yeah.
knight e4 looks interesting. I do have to go rook d1. Oh no,
But
I cannot
rook
go.
d1, still knight d2 maybe.
Yeah, actually, let's check that. So rook d1, knight d2. This is very annoying because this is with the check, which is very important. So yeah, so I cannot do that. What do I do?
Probably you have to take on e4.
Oh no, don't
It's
tell
not-
me that.
Yeah, it's not good news, but
No. Okay. I don't know if I like white's position anymore.
yeah, I mean now black is completely out of danger. That's for sure.
Oh no. Okay. No, completely out of danger, of course. I mean, if I could put a knight on a square where it cannot be attacked, like something like knight d4, let's say, for example, and I could keep it here forever, then that would be amazing. But c5 is always a problem.
Yeah.
And also, we now have to consider some threats with queen g5 in the future with some checkmate ideas, and I don't like that. I don't like that, Felix.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, queen g5 is now also always in the air, and the light
Yeah.
squares become pretty weak. Still, the position should probably be okay for white, but Gukesh went bishop e4.
No, yeah, can we just check knight e4? Because I'm pretty sure white has something different than bishop e4. I don't know what, but he has to. Like something like, let's say, queen b2. Knight d2, and I want to go something like bishop g4. Nah, it doesn't work. Oh, maybe it works. Maybe it works. Because after f5, I go rook d1. And if
Bishop.
Yeah, sorry.
Bishop g4, and if I take on f1, you
F1,
take on c8.
Yeah, what do you want to do? You want to take
Maybe
knight e3?
some desperado, yeah, knight takes e3 possibly, yeah.
Don't give me this Desperado. Yeah, and this were yeah. You're right. You're right. This doesn't work.
Yeah, so probably bishop takes e4 had to be played.
Oh wow. Okay, I'm gonna
Stone.
check this. Bishop e4. Yeah, knight e4 was actually the best move in my opinion, and bishop e4 had to be played. Yeah.
Yeah, still probably nothing special there for either sides, but
okay.
It would have been a bit more ambitious maybe than bishop e4, what was played by Gukesh, but
I mean, Gukesh is maybe just afraid of the Lichess horsey, that would come from e2 to many attacking squares. So he was like, let's play safe, let's not keep the Lichess horsey active too much.
Yeah, that's understandable. And I mean, with bishop e4, after bishop e4 there are no imbalances, and Gukesh will anyway be very happy with the draw in this game.
Yeah, of course. I think with black pieces to just be solid, and he was slightly probably surprised with his opening choice, even though I'm sure he expected it at some point. But slightly surprised, so I think he would be happy to survive the opening without any crazy ideas. And yeah, queen e7, very logical. So rook d1, queen e7. So yeah, at this point we can also just predict the draw.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption.
I mean, fair point. things happen. Chess is draw.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
what can you say? Huh?
Sometimes just chess is draw. I guess after queen e7, white either will go knight d4, bishop e4. I think bishop e4 is played.
Mm-hmm.
We expect knight,
Yeah.
knight e4.
They're playing so fast this segment of the game. I mean, almost all of the moves happened immediately.
Yeah. They're both very good at understanding this position, maybe, and just don't need much time to think about it. Especially when, I mean, for Gukesh it's a bit easier, I feel like, because Dink hasn't played any challenging move. In my opinion, like f4 is a challenging move. And even before, playing queen b3, or even before playing knight d4, some different ideas were more challenging. I feel like this is just kind of simple chess from Ding, just to play good, quick, and not complicate.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And it's just not enough to play like this against Gukesh and to win a game in most cases. At least in this game, Gukesh just neutralized everything and didn't make any mistakes, and therefore the draw will be the most likely outcome.
Yeah. I would just like to point out, as somebody in the chat said, of course Ding is the one making the initiative. Of course he is the one that's narrating the game. I just am trying to say that he could have made it more interesting by making some more imbalances, like with move f4, like we said in position like here. Here, playing move like f4 is, so at move 15, Felix, just know what I'm talking about. Move f4 here would turn into something more crazy. And he just decided to play it safe, went knight f3. I mean, I don't know, guys, if you remember the game from the candidates. I think Pragnananda played it as white. I'm not sure, was Nakamura his opponent? I'm not completely sure. However, in the whole game, Pragnananda just made 2 retrieving moves out of, I don't know, I think it was 40 or 50 moves. All other moves were forward moves, which was insane. So basically activity in that game was very important, and he played challenging moves. And yet, knight f3 I wouldn't say is a very challenging move, that's all I'm trying to say. But it's very understandable, as Ding did lose game 3, and it's very important for him to gain his confidence that he can play fast and he can play good moves.
Yeah, just to stabilize also after the previous loss.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. By the way, I just want to briefly mention that I really liked Gukesh's understanding when we go back to move 14.
Yeah, let's do that.
Because it still seemed, at least to me, like white has some pressure in this position after a4.
Yeah.
But Gukesh found this very nice idea with rook c8 followed by b6 and c5.
Very beautiful, yeah.
At least I totally missed that idea. I was only looking at the king side, that black would play there, but totally missed that black can also do something himself on the queen side with b6 and c5. And his plan worked out really nicely, I have to say.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. I didn't see that either. Usually you play something like a6, you blockade, and then you go on the other side, yeah? You play on the other side.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But
beautiful.
Very, very nice idea by Gukesh.
I mean, probably Ding also missed that idea. Rook c8, b6. It's not a very typical idea usually in these structures, but you have to you have to kind of understand it at the board. But beautiful idea. But Gukesh, it just shows that he's in good shape.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go to the live position now, because now a b6, ace b6 has happened. Some more reductions on the board.
Yeah, if I could make one prediction, I think Ding might go knight c3 just to clear the whole board. This would be.
Yeah.
Because I cannot imagine that he is actually playing for something here anymore.
No, I agree. No, I absolutely agree. I don't think this position still has, how can I say that, many or much spirit left.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, okay, it does. I mean, of course, White has some ideas. Like Rook d4 comes to mind. However, then you have to be careful about c5 coming as well, and then exchanging another pawn, and maybe even having a passed pawn with black on the c file. You know, we don't need to do that. Yeah, we don't need to complicate.
Yeah, also the knight on e4 is very powerful.
Yeah, very
And,
powerful. It's the Lichess horses, so we want to exchange it. Yeah, knight c3. Let's take it away.
yeah, since you mentioned rook d4, I just saw
Yeah.
a nice tactic. It's not here actually. Let's say it does work with rook d3. There is knight takes f2, always to watch out for. King f2 and queen f6
Oh.
with double attack.
Ouch. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Very good spot. Thankfully, it doesn't work after rook d4, but yeah. I agree. Rook d4 is not a good move, maybe also because of that, because also c5.
c5, yeah.
And let's say I decide to play like something like rook d5 just to be active, and then this thing happens to you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the.
Then this thing happens to you. So yeah, rook d4 will not be played for sure. What will be played? Do you think knight c3 will be played, knight d4, or I don't know what else? Something like queen c4. I don't know. I just want to be prepared for c5 somehow.
Yeah, some knight move would be logical. Maybe also knight f4. That after c5 there's knight d5. Maybe this could also be considered.
Yeah.
But I stick with my knight c3 prediction. Hopefully I'll be I'll be wrong, because after knight c3 I think the game will be concluded fairly soon.
I mean, but let's be honest. Like you said, knight on e4 is very strong. So
yeah,
I mean, why would we keep it there? It doesn't make sense to keep it there.
yeah, I agree. Only if if Ding wants to like keep the game going for some time, he should keep the knights on the board. But
yeah, that does make sense. Yeah. I just don't see anything. Okay, let's say. Yeah, what do I even do? I mean, let's say I go rook a c1. I don't know, just to play a move that is not knight c3. What do we do with black? Do we go c5 or do we go?
Yeah, rook c1 is a logical move as well. I was always thinking about the pawn on f2. Like there might be some ideas. I don't know, like queen h4 could also be an idea. I don't know how you protect the pawn there.
Yep, not good news. I mean, I guess knight g3 could be an idea after queen h4. I don't want to go g3. That's just making too many weaknesses. Like queen h3 is coming, knight g5, knight f3 is a threat, so I have to go knight g3. And then again, you just take it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a draw.
Yes.
Probably queen h4. I mean, not the only move for sure.
No, yeah, but, for sure. But it's also simplifying things if needed.
Yeah.
I you know what? You're right. Knight c3. I would think we'll probably see that. But what is fun is that they cannot actually draw the game till move 40, except by repetition. So we will probably stay here till move 40.
Yeah, unless they find some repetition.
Yeah, I mean, if they manage, but knight c3 is on the board.
Yeah.
So do you think? I know you already talked about that slightly before, but somebody asked if this is kind of Dink's style of play, or is he just trying to draw this game? Like, is his mindset, I want to draw, or is this usually his style of play, to play this kind of not very dynamically with f4, but just going knight f3 and being safe?
Yeah, I mean, recently he started to play like this. I would even call it maybe a little bit scared, because he was just lacking confidence for quite some time. But I don't think it's really his style. I mean, his style, when we look at the Ding from a couple of years ago, was that he was always very good with initiative and also an attacking player himself. So he was going forward, and more recently he's became more positional, more slow, just because I think he's kind of lacking this self-confidence. But it contradicts his style, in my opinion.
Yeah. I would agree. I think Ding is a great player overall when he's in his best shape.
Yeah.
But confidence is such an important issue to talk about in chess. Basically, it's a night and day. It changes a chess player completely. Like you said, his style now looks scared, not even drawish. It just I'm scared to make a mistake because making a mistake will make me feel bad. I will be hurting. Maybe I will be even crying. It's
Yeah.
very big emotional. It's just emotional bomb to blunder something. So in that case, he's just protecting himself and his body from being in distress by playing safe moves, which is not ideal, but I can understand it in a world championship match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, if he relaxes and if he gets confidence back, so you know, okay, let's say you lose a game very badly, Felix. I don't know. I guess you blunder a queen, winning position. Let's say it happens. I know it doesn't.
It does. It does.
Oh.
It does.
And how do we recover? How do you recover? The next day you play a game again. What do we do, Felix? It's important to recover. I want to know how you try to recover.
Yeah, I mean, for me it helps just to try and forget about the game, even though it's easier said than done in most cases.
Mm-hmm.
But just to get your mind off of things, maybe not to get some break from chess. Like immediately after the game, I wouldn't. If I blunder, I wouldn't immediately prepare for the next one. I might watch some TV series, or I might read a book, or play a video game. Something that helps you just to forget about the game. I think that's quite helpful.
You know
and
what?
how do you cope with your losses?
No. If I lose very badly, I used to be very emotional, like extremely emotional. Like sometimes I would even shed a few tears because I would be so upset with myself. Because for me, I know that that I can play very well if I want to, and I hate it when I outplay my opponent. I play very good moves, a few even number one of Stockfish, and then I just blunder like an amateur. Like I played like 25, and then suddenly a blunder like 1600. And I'm very upset with that. Sometimes, I mean, I used to be, and I actually started working with a sports psychologist in Slovenia, because these emotional distresses are too hard for a whole chess tournament, because there's 9 games we have to play. It's okay if we play 2-3 games, but for 9 games, this is just piling up, and
yeah.
Basically, you know what I say now? I say it's okay because I gave my 100%. I know this 100% was less than yesterday, but it was still 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And these mistakes happen. They even happen to like Hikaru, to Magnus, to Firouzja in classical games. And that makes me feel better that even the best of the best make blunders like this. Even though they're amateur blunders, this is just part of chess. So I always say I gave my 100%, and that's okay. And that's important. If I didn't give the 100% that day, then I can blame myself.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very tough. It's psychology in a chess tournament is extremely difficult for me to handle, as I am a very emotional person usually. So yeah, also like if I'm very angry after I blunder something, first thing I do when I go to the room, I will play bullet.
Oh, really?
Because I get anger out and frustration by attacking my opponents in bullet.
And maybe also by winning games, yeah, to maybe
Also.
like get the confidence back, yeah.
But even if I lose, I feel better because I can attack. In classical games, I'm very frustrated because I cannot attack usually, as the attacks makes a lot of weaknesses. So
I see, yeah.
So in bullet and let's say blitz games, I don't have to think about my weaknesses. I just have to think about how to checkmate my opponent. So that's why I go for that. Otherwise, I agree. This is very hard. Losing a game is very hard, and I hope that Ending and Gukesh also are working with some people that can provide psychological help Not that Gukesh needs one, it seems like. But I think Dink is working with a team of psychologists. Just
Yeah.
it's important, I think, for all sports people to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And somebody had a question like, okay, now we had a lot of exchanges. So rook d8, knight e4, queen e4, h3. What if, let's say, we exchange queens and both of the rooks of the board? We have a pawn endgame. What's going on in a pawn endgame?
Yeah, pawn endgame, I mean, it might still be a draw, but then black will have the chances because he can create the outside passed pawn. So, yeah, that's not something white really wants to allow.
Yeah, agree. And it will not happen. Like, we will probably exchange the queens and one pair of rooks, but there will always be a pair of rook, not a pair, but just one rook for each player left on the board, yeah?
Yeah, and as long that's the case, it's just a dead draw, yeah.
I mean, yeah, this position looks like a dead draw. You know, at this point we can actually turn on the evaluation bar, so everybody can be happy. It's 0-0.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be 0-0 till the rest of the game for sure. Except if some crazy blunders happen, but both players have enough time, 40 minutes or more for each player, and it's move 25, so 15 more moves and that's it.
Yeah, maximum 15 moves, but yeah, I don't see any move repetitions, so probably we're gonna be here until move 40.
Yes, that's the probability. So maybe we can talk about. I'm trying to think if I want to say we can talk about tomorrow where Gukesh will be white, but it's very hard to predict anything that's gonna happen tomorrow with the opening wise, because they did prepare for this match very different way than to other tournaments, for example, the candidates. So I don't think we can predict what Gukesh will want to get from the opening tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I mean, even the first move is always a mystery, even for both players.
Yes.
You cannot predict that in this match. And in general, I like the opening preparation of both players. They both had very interesting ideas in the opening. I felt like, at least also in today's game, maybe Ding's team could have gone a little bit deeper in that position, since it seemed like it's actually quite a logical reply from Black, and there were some games there as well. But overall, the ideas itself are quite interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I like it. I like that it's not these normal lines we see every day between top grandmasters, but it's something more unique.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I like that too. I agree. This is very important, I think, for a world championship match to be interesting. Of course, if Magnus was playing, for example, I think we would see also many interesting ideas. He likes to even, I would say, play weird moves early, but even if they're not the best by Lila or Stockfish, at least he's working for ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I think I've never seen Magnus play an opening like today, for example. I think he was always very principled, going into main lines, but then finding some idea early on.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. I guess. I mean, I did forget that we're taking breaks during this commentary because I'm having so much fun analyzing this position. I'm not even looking at the clock at this point. I hope everybody in the chat is also enjoying the commentary, but I think we're gonna take our second break while Gukesh figures out how to draw this.
Yeah.
So, okay, guys, see you soon. And welcome back to the round 4 of World Chess Championship between Ding Liren and Gukesh D, being played in Singapore, by the way. Very interesting location for chess. Also, very interesting time of playing, 5 o'clock in the evening for their time. I mean, I hope they're enjoying it. I think it's a very nice place, and that they have enough energy to also maybe visit. However, Felix, I don't think they are like being tourists right now, right?
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, not right now. Maybe after the championship is over.
Yeah,
At least the winner will probably stay a bit longer, yeah?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah.
For
The loser
memories.
will probably try to get out of there
Yeah.
as soon as possible, but
That's most likely what's going to happen indeed. Yeah, okay, while we were on a break, we can just discuss some things that happened when we were gone. Like we said, we predict the draw. Queen e4 is where we left it after, of course, h3 played by Ding.
mhm. And Gukesh replied with c5, just trying to push the
Immediately.
pawn forward and therefore basically forcing white to take on c5.
Exactly.
Ding took first on d8 and then
Yeah.
took on c5. And after
Yeah.
rook c1, queen e5, this is the live position. By the way, one trick which white should not run into is queen c3 when after rook d1, white would resign. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
okay. Yeah, that's a very
and
nice for pointing that out.
yeah. But Ding will not fall for that, and yeah, I don't know what he can do. Maybe
You
put the
don't
queen
think
on the
so?
c-file.
You don't think the world champion will fall for this trick?
I don't think so.
No, okay, I wanted to ask you a question. Let's say that two 1800s are playing this position. Who would have higher chances of winning, white or black?
I would say black probably, because black at least has the outside passed pawn. So
Yeah.
if somehow magically both of the rooks disappear, for example, the queen endgame could already be a little bit tricky for white. Even though of course it's still a draw,
Yeah.
but
I agree. I also agree that if somebody has chances here, it's black. Of course, not in the match between Ding and Gukesh. Queen c2 played by Ding, by the way, basically almost forcing rook c8. Or am I wrong?
I mean queen c5 is not a threat yet because there is
That's
still rook d1.
true. That's very true. Okay.
So maybe Gukesh will do something like h5 or g6. That could also be.
Yeah.
Of course, rook c8 is also totally possible, but
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to find a draw. Like if black goes rook c8, let's say I would go queen c4, and now I can go h5, and as white I would go maybe something like rook c2, and basically queen a1, queen e5. I would just repeat.
yeah, why not?
I mean, I'm just trying to find a draw because this is clearly going to be a draw, but I don't think this is. Yeah, maybe it's not going to happen like this. I mean, you're right. This is not a threat yet, so let's say h5 happens. I would consider playing g3 just to stop these ideas.
Yeah, g3 or h4 maybe also.
Oh, h4 is also very nice. Yeah, like after g3, I always have to consider h4, which can get slightly annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean probably white can go g4 here, but
G4.
I mean also you might be able to take at some point on c5, but not yet.
Yeah,
because
not yet
there's
because rook
still
d1,
rook
and I'm forced to go king h2. I cannot go here because I'm losing after queen e4. So I after this takes, I guess. Oh no, I cannot. Sorry, I cannot take because now I'm getting checkmated again.
Yeah.
Here I have to go king g2. So why would I complicate things like that?
It doesn't. Yeah, there's.
Yeah, so yeah, you're right. G3 could run into moves like this. So why do it? Just
Yeah,
play
h4 maybe. Yeah.
just not complicate things. Somebody said this is a draw. Why are they wasting time? I love that mindset, but there's a rule in the regulation which says that they cannot offer a draw to each other till move 40 is played from both sides. So Both have to make 40 moves, and then they can agree on a draw, except if they find a repetition somewhere, and then they have to call the arbiter and just arrange the draw like that.
Why do you think they have the rule actually? Is it mostly for the viewers that the games will like not be over very soon, or?
Actually, I'm not sure. This is, of course, viewers here are involved. Also, I think to it's mostly in all tournaments to just improve the fighting spirit, because they can get in some complicated position that is very interesting for the viewers, but both are so confused about it that somebody just offers a draw and the other person is also confused, so they accept.
Yeah, that's true. I was mostly thinking that since it's a World Championship match, probably either of the
Yeah.
players will always be ambitious
Exactly.
in any game. But
I agree,
yeah,
but
that's a
it
good
can
point.
happen. No, I mean that's
Yeah.
I agree. They're both very ambitious. If somebody's gonna offer a draw, the other one will most likely reject it because fighting spirit here is very important. It's just probably to avoid some small chances of these things happening just in case, and I do like that.
Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah.
I do like it, yeah. However, I think they're also, if somebody should offer a draw in this position, I think also arbiter could allow draw in specific positions like this. I actually heard, I don't know in which tournament, but I think it was also in Hastings. I think it was in Hastings I played it, and this was very interesting rule. There also you cannot offer a draw before move 40. However, there are some exceptions that were involved in previous tournaments. For example, Alexei Shiro, he played an incredible game, full of dynamics, full of tactics, and then somehow his opponent also found the best moves, and I don't know, in 30 moves there was an opposite color bishop endgame. And they could not offer a draw till move 40, but then Shiro came to the arbiter and I said, come on, each move that I play, it just lowers my score of the game. The quality of the game is getting lowered by computer evaluation, for example, and this will then not be a perfect game that I made it. So with each move they make in this equal position, it basically lowers the quality of the game. And he asked the arbiter if he can just offer a draw. I mean, arbiter came, he saw that it was opposite color bishop, a clear draw, and the arbiter agreed. So in that case, it was a specific, very specific suggestion, but it was accepted. And I don't know, do you think something like that could be available at the World Championship? For example, this position,
yeah? Yeah, that's an interesting incident.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter the quality of the game. I mean, the game was actually very good, just...
Yeah.
I understand that he wanted to finish that game already, especially when it was a clear draw,
Yeah, sure. I mean, overall, probably the advantages of having this no draw rule before move 40 outweigh the disadvantages, I would say, because the worst thing that can happen is that the players just have to make a couple of more moves, and that's just it.
Yeah, I don't think that's a big problem to make a couple more moves here, I mean, 11 more moves to make. It would be funny if Gukesh is now talking, or Dink talking to the arbiter, hey, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, do you see this position? Go play it if you want, yeah?
Yeah.
That would be funny. Okay. I want to see what Lila Zero now thinks are the chances of winning or drawing here. 19% chance of draw. Still 6% of black winning and 4% of white winning, so...
Yeah, but the question is it because of the position or because of the rating difference?
I think because of the rating difference. I mean, to
Probably,
Lila Zero, this is a draw anyhow,
Yeah, sure.
So I think this is just a rating difference. This is just 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, the infinity zero.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what can we do? So tomorrow there's gonna be game 5. I will actually check if the pairings work now. The schedule works now. Yes, it works. I'm just gonna show you the schedule of the next games. So Yesterday there was a rest day. Today there is round 4, and we have many rounds ahead. 14 rounds are being played in this World Championship match, which is a lot of games, Felix, a lot of games to be played, but
Yeah.
thankfully each 3 games they get a rest day. Do you think that's enough, each 3 games to get a rest day, or that's too much? Should they have played 4 games? What do you think?
I think 3 is okay. Because if there are too many rest days, it's also somewhat annoying for the viewers, I think. Because you're somehow in this feeling that you want to watch the games almost every day. So if there are rest days too often, you somehow get out of this excitement, I would say. But after every 3 games, I think it's a respectable amount.
Yeah, I agree. I think 3 games is perfect.
Yeah.
Because we know how tiring chess games can be. Like, I don't know. I always when I try to. Everybody always asks me, is chess a sport? Yeah, and then I always say, yeah, duh, of course it is. For me, it is. And then it's very hard for me to actually say a reason for that. And then I always say, during a chess game, you can actually burn 2,000 calories, which is
Yeah.
exactly how much you can eat in a day, the calorie count. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if they actually burn that much. I think during intense games it's possible, but a game like this, for example, not even close, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there are certain, I think, researches which have been done on this calorie loss during games. Some of them have been quite, yeah, at least they sounded quite exaggerated. I think there was one which was quite old, which said that during a chess game you can burn as many calories as during a soccer match, which, yeah, I mean, it is possible certainly, but for me it was always quite hard to believe. But I'm quite sure that chess players do burn a significant amount of calories during a game.
Yeah, I agree. The new comparison that I heard was during a boxing round. One game could be equal to boxing round regarding calories, but I have no idea how much calories they burn during a boxing round.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Um, but I think maybe that's a bit closer because boxing round lasts, okay, depends on what are we watching, but usually like 5 minutes, yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe less,
guess
3,
so.
5, depends
Yeah.
what we're watching. And of course, it's very intense.
Yeah.
Maybe this is closer. Yeah, somebody said burns 2,000 calories, but also consumes 2,000 calories by eating walnuts in the in the break room.
Yeah.
That's the life of a chess player, exactly. Um, yeah, I would also like to bring you the results just so you guys are up to date. I just would like to mention that Ding did win the first game very beautifully, and Gukesh did consolidate in round 2. And 2 days ago, so round 3, he managed to come back. He won that game, even though I do have to say we did like Ding's position in most of, actually in all of first 3 games. If we can talk about that, I love Ding's preparation. First game, the French defense, with this a5, a4, queen a5, a3. I love that preparation, and then somehow he managed to swindle his knight to b2 and win the game. Loved it. Second round, Felix, the game looked very equal from the beginning, but if somebody had some edge, it was Ding.
Yeah, second game, Ding had some advantage after the opening, but it seemed like he wasn't really feeling the position, and then didn't go for maybe the most ambitious approach, and then just settled for a draw, which was also somewhat of an understandable decision since he already took the lead in round number 1 and just wanted to consolidate that lead.
Oh, but if he won that game, how painful it would be for Gukesh.
Yeah,
I think
that's true. Yeah.
I think that would almost be already a breaking point. I mean, you just started the match and you're 2 points down. I would be scared. So in that direction, it could be different. However, I feel like a beautiful game by Ding. Like you said, at some point he could have taken some more ambitious approach. However, I think his preparation or his second preparation was incredible. And
Yeah.
sorry, the third game. I feel like after Gukesh made some strategical mistake at some point, Ding with black pieces was having the initiative.
Yeah, Ding had a nice position in round 3. After Gukesh, we have to give him the credit, or at least to his team, came up with this very interesting and basically new idea in the opening. But then he failed to...
Actually, I will just show you the round 3 because, just so you guys know what we're talking about. Which was the interesting idea, of course, this queen c2, g6, h3, and just basically playing this position. So Felix, it's 10th move bishop c2, which was surprised by Ding because now this bishop is actually that cost him the game at the end. Of course, this move is perfectly fine. However, we were so impressed by Gukesh's preparation. Basically Gukesh's preparation was amazing. However, you found this beautiful idea of rook g8 followed by g5. So
yeah, that was a great spot by Ding.
Credit to Ding for finding that as well. And I just wanted to say no, like the Ding has been playing very good chess, just in third game rook h5 was a big mistake.
Yeah, and after that the game just went downhill very, very fast.
Exactly. So, I mean, today's game was just more solid one. I don't think anybody ever had any edge today.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that Ding was somewhat the player who was pushing, but it didn't last for very long, I think.
No, yeah, I agree. Of course, if somebody was pushing, it was obviously Ding, but it was not an incredible position.
No, nothing.
Especially because rook c8, b6 that was found by Gukesh. Again, credits to him for finding this very amazing plan just to simplify everything on the queen side. When your opponent finds that, what can you do, right?
Yeah, and Ding just went for the emergency break, I would say, not to over push it. Yeah,
which is correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so can we just discuss this? So rook d5 has been played by Gukesh. He did spend, is that correct? That he spent 15 minutes on move rook d5?
Yeah, maybe he was considering where he wants the rook to be, if it should be on c8 or on d5. Objectively, it's probably not a big difference, but yeah. He does have enough time, so I mean, why not just use it and not to overlook anything?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I agree. However, I think when they're both at this high level, I don't think they would need to spend 15 minutes in this specific position to figure out how to draw.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's what I'm confused about, I would even say. Yeah, g3 played by Ding, by the way, so now he doesn't have any tricks anymore with rook d1. He will go probably king h2 the next move, or something similar, maybe even queen c3 if it works, but why risk it, White doesn't need to risk anything, black doesn't need to risk anything. However, f5, yeah, so...
That's quite surprising, I would say. I mean...
Wait, is Gukesh playing for a win here? Is he?
That would be very surprising.
I mean, come on. Like we were saying, if somebody's playing for a win here, it's black because of the pass pawn. But that would be so funny if he was actually playing for a win.
I mean, f5 is shocking, but I mean, it's not a bad move. Don't get me wrong.
No,
it's just
of course.
It's probably a move most players wouldn't think of. But I mean, he's just stopping e4 for now, so.
Yeah. Oh my God. No, f5. I am surprised.
But it does look like a winning attempt. I mean,
yeah.
It's true, yeah. Because if you want to make a draw, just play h5, g6.
He's carrying Ding. In my opinion, he's playing psychological games with Ding. He's like, you're evaluating this wrong. I'm actually better. I don't know. I don't see any other reason to play f5. I think g6 would have been perfectly fine. Move h5 would have been perfectly fine. Move f5. You're making me want to use the diagonal, now. You want to go queen c4, queen b3 maybe, rook b1.
Yeah, now there are some weaknesses, and the king on the black's king is also a bit weak now, but still, it's not enough for white to probably make any trouble here. I mean, the king will probably be very safe on h7 too, so...
No, absolutely, I agree. This is still very equal. Let's say, hypothetically, I go king h2 now. What do we do? With black, I mean, why did you go f5?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. It's not easy. I mean,
Lukasz, what are you thinking? I'm just looking at the camera, besides the chat, I'm looking also at the camera of the players because I'm always curious who is thinking if somebody's looking directly at their opponent. I noticed Ding, he likes to look at his opponent, not like, I don't know, staring down at him, just like he looks at the position and then he looks at his opponent to try to get something back from him.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, fair point. But I think both of these players have this amazing poker face.
Yeah, they are very, you could even say unemotional.
So unemotional.
Yeah. Which probably is not a bad quality to have to play chess at such a high level.
No, I think it's absolutely fine either way. Even like a Nakamura style of expressions, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it can be even trickier because some player is very expressive and then on purpose he can express something else. Also, it is very intimidating when your opponent is expressive. I do like them having a poker face because I also feel like that's calmer for me. Because that means I do not need to look at you. I know you have a poker face. I know I have a poker face. I just do not look at you the whole game. And I can focus on the game only. So I do prefer that. How about you?
Yeah, me too. To me, it doesn't come natural to make these expressions like Mr. Nakamura does, or Kasparov was also one player who was, I think, very famous for these expressions.
Yeah, no, I have to say I do them sometimes as well during the game. I used to do them on purpose first, but then you get so used to doing them that you start doing them unintentionally. Like, you're in a confused position, and then I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just wanted to try them for fun, to try to understand these expressive players, but now I apologize to my opponents who play me and see my expressions. King G2 played, by the way.
King G2 played,
Yeah, not King H2, but King G2, which is fine. I mean, I don't care, right? I mean, except if you're gonna go G5, I don't think you can lose this. Even with G5, you can probably hold.
Yeah, maybe, even that,
Yeah.
I'm surprised to see what Gukash has in mind. If he wants to go for the rook endgame with queen e4, that's one option. I don't see the reason to even calculate that, but...
I mean, let's do it. Okay, let's do it. Take stakes. Are we going G4? No, what are we doing here? Are we going rook c4?
Yeah, maybe rook c4 just to attack the pawn. Rook e5 is forced.
And now f4? Ooh, f4 looks good. But do I need to do that? Yeah, but I wanted to play g5 here.
After g4?
Yeah, after g4,
yeah. Yeah, g4 probably doesn't help white at all. But Kukic went king h7, right?
Yeah, okay. And he doesn't, like you said, he doesn't want to calculate these things. He went king h7. Do I go g4 now?
You can, but...
No, I don't need to do that again.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, anything is probably a draw, unless you blunder something, but... Yeah, hard to say. By the way, who will we have on the show tomorrow? Because I know that you will be a host, but who is the guest tomorrow? Because I'm unfortunately not with you tomorrow.
Felix, you're saying that you're
Yeah,
leaving me.
yeah.
That's a fair point. I will just check that.
I'm unfortunately not in town, so.
Guys, did you hear that Felix is leaving? Can we just make him stay, please? Please.
It's only for 2 days.
Okay.
I'll be back soon.
Okay, yeah, you will be gone for 2 days, and but then after you come back, I will not be here.
Yeah, I will have to.
I am also having a little vacation for 3 rounds, so I hope you guys will miss me. Otherwise, I will not be back.
I will for sure. Yeah, I don't even know how I will manage to do all this
I'm sure
without
you
Laura.
will.
It's gonna be tough.
Lichess team is amazing. Everybody working on this broadcast is amazing. I never thanked you guys. I always forget because we're so busy with the commentators, but the team behind this broadcast and in general is amazing, and I'm so thankful for you guys helping us out all the time. And if something doesn't work, you don't blame me. Thank you. This is important. But tomorrow is round 5, and it is very possible that we will have 2 amazing guests. I don't want to make you too excited, guys, but Levon might be back, and Matthew Sadler might be back at the
What a combo.
same time. I don't know what I will be doing here. I will just be here. I will try not to communicate too much with these 2 great grandmasters being next to me. But if it happens, me, Levon, and Matthew tomorrow, Felix, we will obviously miss you. If it would be four of us, that would be of course amazing. But I am so excited.
Yeah, it was great having both Levon and Matthew on. So yeah, it makes me even more sad to miss that experience.
Yeah, that is unfortunate, of course. But I think I would like to see how they will clash, or they will be complementing each other with these variations and analyses, and Lila included. Especially because Levon really liked that we didn't use the engine, and he could always find ideas with his own head, but he had ideas like Lila. So Matthew will be like, oh wow, this is exactly Lila's idea with this suggestion. So yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be very interesting. Yeah, to see this mix of those 2 players who somewhat have a little bit of a different approach, I would say. So.
Yeah, somebody asked in the chat if I am hoping for a clash tomorrow. No, that would be terrible if I would be in the middle of it. I think we will all communicate in amazing way. While we see this game unfold, I think we will be just having so much fun. And what's good that if they will want to have some fun, like Matthew and Levon, they will ask me to suggest a move. So do not miss that. If you want to see some fun being made of tomorrow, it's gonna be they will make fun of me. I will be the one suffering. But no, it's gonna be fun for sure.
Yeah.
By the way, just a few moves made. So Queen c4, Queen d6, and e4.
Yeah, we have a change in structure. I actually I didn't even think that we would get that. I thought the thing would just like wait. But e4 was played, and rook e5 is Gukash's answer.
Yeah. So now we just take. So yeah, takes. Rook f5 will be on the board, and then after something like Queen e4, are we gonna go Queen d5?
Yeah, it looks very possible.
And if I go for something like Queen c2, will we go Queen d5 anyway? Probably, yeah. Or maybe Queen g6 would be. No, I don't know.
Yeah, both are possible.
Yeah, both is possible. However, that's why I didn't like the move f5, because now look at this diagonal. Of course, everything's fine for black, everything's fine for white, but now you have to deal with some threats as black. I mean, if I have to go g6, then this is not ideal.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, if Black can play without any further weaknesses on the king side, he would probably be very happy about it.
Yeah, that's why I suggested queen g6 just to protect this diagonal, and at the same time not allowing g6, g7 pawn to be moved anywhere. However, I mean, engine will probably draw with this, with this, with this. Also g6, he will probably draw it. What else can he draw it? Maybe these are the moves that need to be played.
So you have, because somehow the board is not synchronized, you
sorry,
have
yeah.
rook f5, queen c2, queen g6, right?
Yeah. Instead of queen g6, I'm also thinking about, okay, what else can black play, but maybe is Gukesh thinking of not taking on f5?
What else could he do? I mean,
No, he took, yeah.
it was played.
But now the question is, will Ding go queen e4 or queen c2? I guess queen c2 is more challenging.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I think queen e4 is. I think it's time to settle for the draw, and queens will most likely be exchanged.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that will be it.
Oh yeah, that's very exciting. I mean, this is not very exciting. I'm excited already for tomorrow. That's what I'm thinking. This position is not exciting, yeah, but you're right. Queen e4 is happening. Yeah. What can we get out from this game? We can conclude that knight f3, e3, b3 is actually very interesting and good approach actually by Ding. This b4, Felix, that you suggest, that I actually learned this idea now. I don't usually play these positions, but when I will keep in mind this b4 plan to be very strong.
Yeah.
And otherwise, just basically perfect game from both players almost.
Yeah, it was a really good game. I expect to see this bishop a3 line maybe a bit more often in tournament practice now, because it does seem quite interesting. And as we analyzed, White did have some chances maybe to play for something, especially if Ding would have played without knight d4 maybe, to get to play for b5 sooner. Like it was queen b3 on move 12, and
let me go back to move 12 just to show. Yeah, so on move 12, queen b3 was maybe slightly more interesting, at least in the future, because knight on d4, as we've seen, is just running into all these c5 ideas, and it's unpleasant. But we can understand that Ding didn't play queen b3 because bishop g4 was bothering him.
Possibly, yeah. That could be one explanation.
Yeah, probably maybe it's also something else. I mean, knight d4 is a healthy move. I guess me personally, myself, I would not play it in this position. I do like move like queen b3 very much, but yeah, it's fine. Knight d4, and I think then Gukesh just found this great idea. Knight e5 is a very healthy move, and then just rook c8, b6, c5.
Yeah, maybe that's also something which Ding maybe underestimated, this plan with rook c8, b6. That could also be. It also completely went under our radar.
Yeah.
It's quite an unusual idea, but it was very strong in this game.
Yeah. It is very strong, and that's why Ding decided to go for some exchanges, just being better safe than sorry, even though here f4 was so beautiful. It was such a beautiful move, and after knight c4, just something like rook d1. But I understand, f4 is tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
Don't need to do it. He would do it, I think, if it is a must-win situation. Also, maybe we would pick a different opening if there was a must-win situation.
Yeah.
Not sure, but maybe. But yeah, in case if he needed to, he would. But he decided for this, and actually here we were already thinking Gukesh might play knight e4 on move 19. So instead of bishop e4, knight e4 maybe looked slightly more interesting, because then we would have bishop against the Lichess horsey. However, we do prefer the bishop in this case.
Yeah, but Gukesh went for bishop e4, clearly just trying to simplify towards
Yeah.
a draw. Having the black pieces, and yeah, there's absolutely nothing
No.
to criticize here.
We do not blame anybody here. No
Yeah.
blames to be made. And yeah, now they just made these interesting moves with this FI idea by Gukesh, but it makes sense. Somehow it makes sense to play F5 in some universe, not in mine. No, it does make sense, just I wouldn't do it. Yeah, here we go. But that's why I'm not competing for World Championship. Just saying. And yeah, now we're just gonna have a draw probably in 2 moves, even though after King e4, now we're asking Rook, where are we going?
Maybe Rook d4 looks quite
Yeah,
logical.
Rook d4, and after King d3, I guess we just go back and we draw.
Yeah.
And in case we go King e5,
Rook d2.
now we go Rook d2, and if I go f4,
I thought I can go Rook d3.
Rook d3, this makes sense. And if I go g4,
G4. Let's say I give one, or let's say I just take on h3.
yeah, that makes sense. And after Rook c5, just Rook e3. Yeah.
Rook e3. Yeah, just.
Yeah, and you're cutting me away.
Yeah, I might even start to play for a win myself now. Rook d3, Rook e3 check, King d4, Rook g3.
Yeah. Yeah.
But okay. Nothing happening here either.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Yeah, I think we will see, you're correct. So King e4, we'll see a check. Maybe he's thinking if he should go Rook d2 immediately though. Instead of going Rook d4 check, he's probably considering this move as well.
That's also, I guess both of these moves are good enough.
Of course. I mean, even the engine says Rook h5 is also a great move, you know?
Actually smart idea. Rook h5, forcing h4, and then going Rook f5.
Yeah.
And then after f4 you have h5 and there is no g4 anymore. So.
Sorry, Rook h5, h4, Rook f5. Ah, yeah.
And now f4, h5. Yeah.
Just blockading everything. Okay, I mean, still Rook d1. I don't know. No, just Rook d6 is coming, and then back Rook d5.
Rook d1, Rook f6. Yeah.
Ah, okay, Rook f6. Ah, safe. And then yeah, I mean, of course. How good would you say that you are in Rook endgames compared to other stages of the game, or just endgames in general?
I think endgames are overall one of my strengths. Also what I enjoy most.
Okay.
Yeah, I like exchanging queens pretty early, just that I don't have to calculate so much anymore and can just rely a bit more on my feeling and understanding.
Okay. Yeah, and by the way, it was...
For you it's the opposite, right?
Yes. Please do not play endgames against me. No, for example, you know what's the problem with me? I enjoy endgames. I do, because I like calculating. I love calculations. However, I don't know, is it trauma or something? I always fear, especially when I play a stronger opponent in the endgame, I always see some ghosts that he will, even though I know it's a draw, I know it's equal, but I just somehow see, oh wait, he has a passed pawn, what if he goes, I don't know, in this position, I don't know, somehow gets Rook d6, Rook c6, you know, and I try everything to stop the ghost, and then I allow other things to happen. So I think it's just basically trauma from losing endgames. But otherwise, I do like them, just they are difficult in general.
Yeah, that's true. Lots of details.
Yeah, by the way, the game ended in a draw. So after King e3, Rook d5, we're just repeating, and on move 42 they decided to agree on a draw, which is understandable. Yeah.
Quite a logical outcome of the game, I would say, overall.
Oh no, nobody expected that from that endgame. Who would have thought? Yeah. So yeah, the good old school of chess for Felix, I respect it. Yeah. I mean, some players are also just intuitively better at end games. I guess you're a very talented end game player from beginning, or did
Mm,
you learn them with experience?
I guess it's a mix of both. I mean, there are some end games you need to know by heart,
Yeah.
some theoretical positions.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, also the feeling, yeah, like where the pieces belong. I guess you could say that about chess in general. But I do still think that end games do have their own secrets compared to middle games or
Yeah.
openings.
Yeah. They do, especially. Uh, yeah, so many rook endgames that you just need to learn and you just need to know the basics. And then when you are in a rook endgame, you know exactly what you want to get because you know the specific endgame is winning.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't know how, then you don't just get to that position. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not doesn't make. Yeah, so for me, my memory in endgames is not great. Like I can learn it, but I will forget it in 1 month. So it's
Yeah,
just annoying.
that does happen. Yeah, you need to like revise them very
Yeah.
often.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
life.
agree. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed the commentary today. I know I did. It was amazing. Even though it was just two of us today, I think we managed to find some good, interesting ideas. We had some interesting lines. I even forgot to take breaks in between. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Even though there were just two of us today, and I hope you loved Felix's insights. I'm sure I did. Yeah, and tomorrow there's gonna be game 5 going on. Hopefully, let's hope Matthew Sadler and Levon Aronian will be back with me. Felix needs to take a deserved break, which, I get it. I get it. Uh, so yeah, any ending words for you, Felix?
No, Laura, it's been I had a great time as well. Thank you for hosting the stream as perfectly as you always do. Yeah, it was interesting, and I wish the three of you tomorrow a nice stream. I'm sure it's gonna be very interesting. I'm gonna tune in as well as a fan. I'm sure. And yeah, thank you for hosting everything so smoothly. And yeah, I can't wait to be back in the stream.
Oh, no, thank you for the kind words. Yeah, I'm excited to be back with you, Felix. But yeah, of course, that's gonna take some time now. There's still many games ahead, so we will see each other soon. And yeah, guys, see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
See you soon. Bye bye.